Edited down. So we still have our wagon. It's just the Steel Defender would have to pull it, or we would have to pull it.
And if we're low on rations, him pulling it is going to slow us down. We're not going to be able to get anywhere before we run out of food.
At this point, I feel I should remind people that thanks to 3rd level cleric spells,
Yeah, I
I have
know.
free food and water.
I do actually remember that, but
That
in
would
terms
be
of actual rationing food, we probably should, and there's going to be days where you can't do that because then we're going to be like, oh, fuck. We either save this spell for food or we don't die here.
Stalactite falls on the cleric. He instantly dies.
Yes. So who had 7 rations that I'm about to steal?
Look at my inventory. It doesn't look like I have any rations.
I've got 10. I've got 10 days worth, so I think we'll be all right in the meantime. Plus with, I can't even remember his name now, Taskill. I think we'll be all right until we can kill something.
Kill Triceratops.
All right. Is everyone ready?
Yeah, let me just start the recording.
All right. Okay. So this week's question. It is. Who do you miss the most on the surface or in the Underdark? Any person at all.
What was the question?
Who do you miss the most from either the surface or people you've met on your quest so far, or it could be people from your backstory. Either way.
I just sent it to you, so
Yep,
I'm pretty sure everyone knows, but I'm just,
I figured it out.
Yeah.
I figured that's what you'd put, so. But had to ask.
Probably that gnome archaeologist. Nolgrim enjoyed talking shop with him.
Junius, I think his name was, right?
Yep.
Lord Junius.
Or Junius. Okay.
Thrum misses his old lady from Kazakh Crag.
Which one? Doesn't he have like 7?
The one from Kazakh Crag.
A lady at every port.
Really quick, can you send me that doc with the Artificer or Gombo? I don't know which one you sent it to me. The doc with the Artificer class on it.
Yeah, I sent that. I believe I sent that to you over Skype.
Let me see.
Wait, what? He needs a doc?
Oh no, that was a separate PDF thing.
Because there's like websites that have all of the Artificer stuff on there.
Yeah, no, it was a third party thing I was pitching to him.
Ah, gotcha.
I still think it's too early in the campaign for that, Michael, but it was just an idea for the future if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we still need Taskill and Freya.
Yeah, also Taskill misses his wife. Stout dwarven woman, a good cook.
You see, I just thought Freya just spontaneously grew out of your beard.
You left your wife? I know who I'm coming back as if Thrum dies.
Oh, God, I hope you do.
For some reason, whenever I think about dwarves having wives, I always think of that bit from My Python the Holy Grail, where it was the king talking to the prince. He's all like, she's a sturdy woman with huge tracts of land.
But I don't love her.
All right, so that just leaves Freya.
Did we ever kill that giant?
No.
Okay, I missed that giant.
Okay.
We only saw him the one time, but Freya was hooked.
Wow.
I know her type.
Murderous impulse.
I was going to say, wouldn't that be like a human dating a fairy?
that there was literally, I don't know if you guys ever watched the Netflix show Enchanted. It's by the same people who did Futurama. It's kind of
Yeah.
hit and miss.
Oh, Disenchanted, yeah.
Disenchant, but there was one great episode where the elf, who's like 2.5 feet tall, lies and Elfos lies and says he has a girlfriend that's a one-eyed giant, and then they find her and she's like 20 feet tall. And every time they enter the room, it's like, everyone brace yourself for the inevitable mental images.
It is hit or miss, but I love that show.
Yeah, I know. I just liked it because they're like, how would you even? You know what? Never mind. I think it's better if I don't think about that. All right, I'll move you guys over to the map. Does anyone need a recap for last time?
You mean from last year? Yes.
Probably. Has been a minute.
I remember that we finally finished up rummaging and raiding the Vothis.
And we trusted spiders, got attacked by bats, and rolled a natural roller coaster.
Yeah. I know that only one of the spiders survived, or two of the spiders of the three survived. They lowered us down. We did some illegal maneuvering with the webs because I think you can only have one active at a time. I figured that out later. I'm like, it made for good thematics anyway.
It made a good plot. I liked it.
Yeah, it was fine. I just noticed that the other day when I was looking up spells, I'm like, oh wait, that's a concentration spell.
Yeah, I noticed that at the time as well, mid-session, but it was such a cool moment. I'm like, you know what? I'm fine with it.
But then we pissed off some bats that were trying to eat us, and they decided to get petty about it. Cut the webs from above. Roller coaster of emotions. Some scorpions are probably up there somewhere, as well as whatever crates we lost. And then during the whole whirlwind down, me and Ivy both fell unconscious. We crashed into the water. Me and her almost drowned. I think Thrum and Nolgrim rescued us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much where we left off.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And they were humanoid bats as well.
Yeah.
Batman, if you will.
A man bat, if you will.
All right.
Hey,
So,
did you say man bat pig?
you mean man bear pig? Where? Oh man, I don't even watch South Park, and I still get some of the jokes.
I think if you scroll far enough up in the chat history, you'll find the link of the picture I sent of Man-Bat from DC Comics.
Yeah. I remember you saying that one.
Okay, also, real quick, this is off topic from the narrative, but I'm just trying to figure out how these dumbass macros work. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay, so that's my problem. It's because there's an enter thing. Okay, well, I'll figure that out in the future. That doesn't spoil anything. I'm just working on my random encounter macros, so I don't have to roll and consult 4 tables. I push one button and it rolls it all for me.
I'm reverse engineering your tables.
7 and 1. What does it mean? If we add another 1, it's a horrible discount gas station store.
All right.
But
So-
at least you could get some roller dogs.
Those never looked appealing to me.
They are. They're like,
Like-
I need something meaty, and I don't care if it's real meat.
I mean, like, I've been a broke college student, so I've of course bought food from the gas station, but I never crossed that threshold.
No, you see, it's when you go in at like 10 o'clock at night and they have those still rolling, and you're not sure if it's just a rat that's been rolled so many times it's resembling.
Yeah, it's much safer to just take one more step into the canned meat items and get Vienna sausage.
But sometimes you just need something, so you reach for the thing that could probably kill you.
At least microwave it. It's
Why?
like
It's already been
sanitizing it? I don't know.
Anyway.
So yeah, you guys have all just successfully pulled yourself out of the water. Nolgrim is hauling an unconscious Fergis out. He's splashing through the shallows now. It appears that they were both going to sink when then suddenly Nolgrim was propelled to the surface by some unknown force.
Oh yeah.
Looks like everything went according to plan.
Thank you, ancient ancestors, because that's exactly what it was. No one could convince me otherwise.
Has anyone seen the scorpions?
Before the drop,
I was hoping that was Fergis or something else. You all right there, lad?
You ask, and I'm just unconscious, and all of a sudden,
Took in a lot of water.
you just see a streak of water pull out of my mouth. I'm like, and I'm still unconscious.
I have to hang this one upside down. Tip him over and slap his back a couple of times.
As you guys are collecting yourself, you hear a sound echoing down from the dropping off point above you. It's a loud echo that goes thunk, thunk, and then you hear two large splashes in the pool just beyond your dark vision.
well, that might be them, or
What's left of them?
Did you get one of those bats?
I think we did. One or two of them.
You said the water wasn't. Well, where we're at now, the water's not particularly deep, but it got pretty deep out there.
Yeah, maybe like 30 feet deep near its center. Where you are right now, it's maybe only about a foot. So you're just waiting, dragging Fergus out of there, so it's no problem. Difficult terrain deep, but not anything else.
Yeah.
Though there's the question of what launched Fergus out of the water.
We didn't really see that.
I did, and I would gladly share it with you.
Yeah. What exactly happened is it felt like he was hitting the bottom, and he felt the stone underneath his feet, but then he felt water moving forward as if he was ascending very quickly. And then he just kind of shot and splashed into a shallower section in which he wasn't weighed down by his armor.
No, that'd be God calling now.
So, best chance he's managed to high jump underwater. Second best chance, cave dolphins. Then we start getting into undesirables.
That or it was Father Mountain, which you never trusted God when they're helping you out like that.
Well, is anyone actually going to go investigate the splashes? Or
I'm not spending back out there, soaking to the bone.
I suppose I
Yeah,
can.
if it's something dangerous, then we're gonna have to do underwater combat.
I would if we're willing to wait a little bit for me to catch a quick breather. But right now I'm pretty much spent. I've got nothing left in the tank.
Did we take damage doing all that?
I do not believe so, no.
Okay.
No, I'm just out of spell slots, so
Yeah, you just used all your spells.
the handy, escape, get out of jail free teleport is not available for the time being.
So you guys just gonna take a short rest?
Yeah, it's start a fire, dry off. Wait, no, not start a fire. I forgot we're underground now.
It's like a cartoon where he just lights a torch and he sees all the horrible multi-eyed monsters around them and he just puts it out. You know what? Never mind.
That's a bad idea.
just everything is eyes immediately outside of the light radius.
Red eyes everywhere. Did anybody see any white eyes? No. Okay, we're good.
So you all take a short rest. During that time, Ivy and Fergus regain consciousness. They were only.
I'm back. Sorry.
Well, it's convenient because I just said you just regained consciousness during their short rest.
There we go. I was missing. Does anyone find out what those drops in the water were?
They elected to wait after a short rest. So.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry about that. It was a doctor call I had to take.
Ah.
So I awaken,
Mm.
and
Everyone's still by the edge of the water, but they're just drying out and catching their breath.
I just wake up, open my eyes, quiet for a couple seconds, and I'm like, "Son of a bitch!" Like at the top of my lungs.
Yeah, you're alive. That's good.
I fucking hate the underground. I want to go back up to the actual towns, and just like stops and just like, ugh.
You got a bit of a climb ahead of you.
Hey, only ways up is down now.
Just starts beating his head against the nearby rock. Why?
About 20 minutes into your short rest, you all do start hearing another sound. It kind of sounds like scuttling of insectoid legs.
Spiders?
Thrum's gonna. Does he recognize the scorpions?
You do.
He's gonna do a little whistle.
Give me an animal handling.
Call him over. Do I have animal? Yes, I do.
Yeah, you've been rolling this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do your signal, and coming out of the darkness, they were kind of on the side of the cavern. I don't remember if they have spider climb or not, but it is pretty rough terrain, so they could just be doing climb checks. But yeah, it's both scorpions. They do look a little beat up. I would probably say about half hit points. But there's like a thin layer of like rough gray sand all across their exoskeleton.
Oh, come here, girls. Y'all need a bath. Do we have a sheet on these guys? Oh,
I don't think we do.
I have one. When we need it, when it's relevant, I have a giant scorpion sheet. 40-foot movement, 52 hit points, 15 armor.
pretty tough. Well, good news. Transportation's back on the docket.
Well, that's cool.
Also, fun fact for you guys: did you know scorpions can hold their breath underwater for like 5 hours?
I mean, bugs in general can survive in water way longer than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
It brings a whole new dimension to that. You've heard that fable about the fox and the scorpion and crossing the river?
Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like, why did you sting me? Because it is in my nature. Also, I can hold my breath for 5 hours. Oh.
See ya. Jumps off the water. But
Yeah. So yeah, as your short rest comes to an end, you've managed to regain both of your scorpions.
Well, Freya, you want to come give me a hand and look at this wagon? I didn't think we'd get to use it again, but just make sure she's sound.
Yeah, I guess I'll take a mechanic's look at the wagon.
You know, now that I think of it, those
help out
splashes in
with
the
that.
water could have been barrels.
So, would that be an investigation too?
I would say with Freya's natural acumen, wagons are pretty basic. If simple farmers, peasants of humans can figure it out, I'm fairly certain someone who could make frickin' clocks could figure it out. It's still in one piece and it's still rolling, but the extremely fast acceleration you guys were on had done significant damage to the axle. It's starting to get worn and close to breaking down.
we had a spare, didn't we?
You had a spare wheel, not the actual
Yeah, that's
axle
in-
of it.
I think that's in the bottom of the lake now too.
If because the cleric can make any sort of simple tools, right?
That are
Could make-
metal.
Yeah.
Metal
Okay.
under 100 gold, I believe.
I
Yes,
can also. I can
Nolgrim's
also.
proficient with cart tools, so he could give it a shot trying to patch it up.
Make a metal
I-
axle.
I
Artificer.
can. I can create any set of tools. Just so you know.
Well, don't you have spells to repair things too?
Yeah, I have spells to repair things, but I'm just saying that
Mm.
if he just needs the tools to fix it, then I literally have an ability that just lets me create any set of tools.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think for a cart like this, it'd either be tinker's tools or woodworking tools.
I got cart tools.
I think cart proficiency is driving the cart.
Let me check, because I have as proficiency cart tools. Let me check with
I did a deep dive a while back, and I remember there was proficiency with driving carts, but there's no such thing as cart tools, because that's just kind of.
While he's looking at that, I will say that I'd probably grab anyone who's not busy after the short rest to hold onto a rope that I tie around myself to go bobbing for barrels. Because I wear leather armor. I think the best chance of someone swimming through this without actually going in naked.
Yeah,
Probably me.
I'll hold your rope.
Miko will be there too.
Yeah. It's like reverse fishing. I like it.
Yeah, while you guys are looking that up, you do swim out, and near the center, where it's at its deepest, you see there are two barrels bobbing on the surface.
Whether one at a time or not, I'll just start grabbing them and having them tug me to shore rather than trying to swim while holding the barrel.
Oh, I see. It's probably cartography. I just shortened.
Yeah, you're probably looking at cartography.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense.
Abbreviation makes a lot more sense. Yep.
I was thinking golf clubs, cart tools.
Well, either way, if we have to use Tinker's tools, then I have Tinker's tools and I'm proficient with them. So
It's mainly a patch job is what you could do right now, because it's like getting the actual wood replaced would be ideal. But
could we theoretically make an axle out of metal if we got enough to have him do his
make
thing?
the cart very heavy.
Fair
You
enough.
might be able to design a metal patch, but a pure metal axle, because those scorpions don't have the horsepower of a combustion engine like modern day cars.
Or an esky.
Well, as long as we don't go over any too big of bumps, I guess it'll be fine until we can get somewhere to less this. And he just motions to the entire cave.
a full metal axle, which is now our rock band name.
Yeah, that actually does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
Would maybe add 5 pounds to the cart weight over wood, but
So it's just more friction or something with the bearings.
Also,
Or
I don't think we have grease to properly lube it up.
How much did those barrels hold? 20, 30, 33 pounds each?
Let me check. I think it might be.
Because if it was 100 out of 3, that would make sense.
Okay, guys, it just occurred to me. It's a show where they bring in experts like Pawn Stars, right? But they're just playing a game of D&D, and in conversations like we just got in now, they'd be like, okay, we're bringing in our cart expert to determine the feasibility of a full metal axle.
well, the main reason they're mostly wood back then was it was just cheaper. You can really easily shape a huge big piece of metal like that, except for casting.
No, then every episode would just be Kenneth coming out every time.
Well, I mean, Loki's more the blacksmith of the group since he's actually done it.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much I said was it in each barrel. What do you remember, Cope?
I remember it as I have 3 barrels equals 100 pounds, so I would just say 33 pounds per barrel.
33 pounds makes sense. Could you roll me a 2d6 real quick, Cope? All right, 9 pounds of food is spoiled because you left it in the water for an hour.
Okay.
Because I somehow doubt you did the full waterproof sealing of those barrels before you did everything in them.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a whole to do with tar and everything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they're pretty tight, but generally not watertight.
yeah. So all in all, it's as you regather all these lost things, it's pretty miraculous how much I actually managed to survive.
All right, fellas, we got about 3 or 4 days worth of rations here from what Fergis recovered, so that's good. Something to feed the scorpions, at least. Because I'm pretty sure once we stop feeding them, they're probably not going to haul our cart anymore.
I don't know. I'm getting a good feeling. I think next chamber we walk into, Dammerhall.
Hey, I like your spirit. You're wrong, but I like your spirit.
I'm still beating my head against the wall. I'm surrounded by idiots.
Triple blood going down.
Ivy's just patting you on the back for just like it's okay.
Well, let's see what other supplies I kept. Starts pulling out the bag of holding. Ladies' undergarments. That's good. Rubies, gold pieces, coins. Well, this shit is all useless.
Mickey releases the spores. It seems it would have been more prudent to leave food in there.
I guess my dwarven greed got the best of me there. Here's a shit ton of arrows, though.
He's just like taking clumps of arrows and just flinging them onto the ground in frustration.
I go and check my chest and make sure the wine that was wrapped in my spare clothes is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, thank God. Today's not a total wash. So if I remember right, I think we found like 2 bottles of really expensive wine.
Yep.
And we drank one and I saved the other one.
Yeah, one was given to you by the dead sheriff gnome's wife, and then the other one you found in Voith, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Along with 99 other bottles.
Of beer on the
All
wall.
winker sploosh.
So, the cart's axle will hold together. Freya might just have to do a little daily maintenance. No roll necessary. She's got like mending and stuff like that. But other than that, where do you guys want to go from here?
Quick question before we continue on. I was looking at the light wagon.
Mhm.
Do we still have any of those that cask of drow poison?
Yeah, it was part of what I kept. I think we're down to 23 doses, the mild narcotic.
Okay, it's just good to know because I know that if we ever need to poison some arrows, it'll come in handy.
Yeah, it's basically it's basically a super strong tranquilizer. So to describe your terrain, you are at the edge of a large pool, kind of a pond. To the north here, if you're seeing the map here, the cavern widens considerably out. You've got very far clearance on each side. Lots of room to spread out. You don't have to be single file. You got another tunnel going here that's narrower. The wagon can fit, but you won't have a lot of clearance on the side. And a similar type situation with this one going the southern direction.
Nolgrim. Map
have a-
survived the fall.
I do. I think I have the rough map that one guy that we questioned drew. and I would give that to Nolgrim.
Mhm.
I don't know much about maps, but it looks like the north way is the one that leads to the Great Rift directly. The other way might lead to that thing called the Path of Walking Madness, which, as much fun as that sounds, I'd rather be, well away from that. Plus, there's a Lake of Michael over there, and I just can't have it.
Hey, I believe we all decided the walking madness was to be avoided.
And there's nothing down below.
I believe that's connected to the trade routes of the Drow, so probably don't want to stay here for a great deal of time.
Listen, guys, it's not that big of a decision, okay? We got a little tunnel and a big tunnel. Now, if I were Dammerhall, which one of these would I be behind?
Big tunnel.
I point to a collapsed little corner of rubble, probably under something like that.
Hey, well, we should probably get moving.
Big tunnel, right?
Aye, seems the best bet.
Thrum's going to take a minute and see if he doesn't detect any of his enemies.
It's within a mile?
5 miles, I believe.
5 miles, yeah. I was forgot. Yeah. Outside of detecting the other dwarves around you, you don't detect any.
Okay.
Wait, we're all secretly Drow in disguise?
No, he has two. I gave him 2 favored humanoid enemies because we agreed that all humanoids was kind of a ridiculously powerful one. The original one, which was pick 2 humanoid types, seemed more reasonable. So he picked elves and dwarves.
Man, he must really hate some dwarves.
Drugar technically count as dwarves, so
Yeah. Underdark dwarves.
yep.
All right, let me joke, okay?
Yeah. No. I'm the only funny one here. Did you understand that? I GM because I crave attention.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So
At least you don't GM because you crave positive reinforcement. That would be a self-defeating cycle.
I know.
God, the amount of time, like, off topic, but the amount of times I kick myself over my DMing skills.
Mhm.
I'm just like, always doing. I'm like, man, I really suck at this. And then I go and do it. Like every now and then, I'll get that. Like, man, I think I did okay. Followed by a, what am I getting? Anyway, carry on.
That's really depressing.
Yes, it is.
Trust me, we'll force you to game master sometime, Cope, and you'll understand.
Yeah.
The self-loathing that
After
comes
like
with it.
2 hours, y'all, I'm done. I don't know if I'll let you all play druids with animal companions, but I'm out.
I mean, just look how long we put off Michael for DMing. It's only just now that he starts to want to do it again.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Cope running Kingmaker. But anyway.
So are these 12 miles, these hexes? I can't remember.
Yeah, they're roughly 12 miles.
All right.
As you advance down the wide cavern, it's still the usual rocky terrain, so it still counts as difficult terrain. But it's nice. You got clearance on both sides. And the ceiling of the cavern goes up and up and up till it's beyond your vision. Ivy can still kind of see the top of it, so it's not farther than 120 feet up, so it's not a fungal jungle situation, but it doesn't feel claustrophobic for once.
Time to relax again. Take a breath of fresh air, eh, Fergus?
Whereas, I don't remember fresh air. What is this?
Clean air filtered through the rocks. Undisturbed for eons.
Yeah, with as many earthquakes as are about, though, I'm not too comfortable.
Just keep your eyes out for the porcus.
Do you ever think these tunnels were just made by one really, really hungry worm?
This one's too big, and those over there are too small. It's the medium-sized ones that are made by the worms.
After you say that, Fergus, Ivy just goes, "I am now."
Welcome to my life. I have no idea what makes sense down here.
Q fight with a bullet.
Oh God, no! Purple worm.
Water carves most of the veins in Father Mountain. But yes, the worms of the deep do burrow in his flesh.
I want to have that checked, says Ivy.
All right, so we got some song lyrics. Words of the deep do burrow in its flesh.
Oh, hold on.
Full Metal Axle's coming along nicely.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anyways.
All right.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Okay, that's what I thought we were waiting for. So if there's nothing else, you guys can mark down food, and we can move on to the next day.
Well,
Yep.
go ahead if that was Kenneth.
No, that wasn't. I was just about to ask: are we gonna feast on the mundane food, or are we gonna have magic-y food be presented for us?
What's this?
I mean, I have left that spell slot used, so
Okay, so if he's using it, probably feeding on the created rations and saving the normal ones for times where we actually need them more.
Well, this is the first time I've ever seen the Father provide something that useful.
I think I used it a few times before.
Yeah.
But
And that doesn't create excess food, right? It's just food for the day.
yeah, it spoils at the end of 24 hours.
How many rations or pounds or...
I don't think there's enough for your animals.
It says up to 15 humanoids or 5 steeds, so
Never mind.
3.
So I'm pretty sure that'll feed the scorpions and us.
Yeah.
During the off times where we're getting ready for bed, Fergus, out of boredom, will just challenge random people to dice and play for whatever coinage we have, which is just passing along stuff that we already own together, for lack of anything else to do.
Thrum just pulls out a brassiere.
He's like, I call.
How was that more important than food?
You'll know when the time comes.
You'll know when you've reached over 100.
Trust me, you do not want to engage strippers in combat. Crazy upper body strength.
I would think lower body strength, always on those poles.
That's both, actually. But
Yeah.
anyway. Day 181. You guys are still advancing down the wide tunnel.
No, we want to go back.
No? Okay. Your call.
No.
Gombo did just give me a new game idea, which is strippers versus cloakers.
Hey, put on this cloak. No.
As you guys are walking through this cavern here today, you do start feeling the ground rumbling. And dust and pebbles start falling from the ceiling above you as the earth begins shaking again.
I had to bring up worms.
That's not cool.
Does anyone do anything?
Yeah, rock check. Does it feel natural?
Yeah, you're pretty certain it's another natural one.
Just on the off chance, Fergus just mage armors.
It ramps up and becomes much more violent than it has been before it eventually tapers off and settles down.
I don't recall anything about Dammerhall being in a tectonically active area. Fergus, have you heard anything about that? You're the history man.
Wait, I'm the history man.
Thrum.
Wait, I thought it was Nolgrim.
Well, actually,
One of these people, I am forgetting names. It's been a year.
If it's big tectonics, I'm always looking for a future ex, Mrs. Thrum.
Well, actually, you know what? I know all about plate tectonics, and that's not normal.
I
am trained in history.
You don't need to give me any accuracy to that, Gombo, because I feel like I know about 13 of the plate tectonics of this place.
That's fair. Yep. Nolgrim, you would know that Dammerhall was built inside a singular mountain that was a dormant volcano.
Mm.
So it was not known to have lots of rumbling and shaking. Fergis, though it's not super applicable to history, you do get similar information to what Nolgrim did. And with a natural 20, I would say you're probably starting to feel like maybe you're close to the emanation of the quakes. Closer than you were before.
Like, I think about it, like, casually mentioned, like, does it feel like the quakes are getting more directed towards this way they were going? Because it feels like that to me, and that troubles me.
The quakes are getting quakier.
That one part of the map labeled the Land of Fire and Mud. Perhaps that's the reason.
Look, don't read the map. The map makes every place sound bad.
I mean, it does say that to beware of living fire, so that just sounds pleasant.
Yeah, it was drawn by drow hands, if I remember right.
On one hand, we got Silent Hill or whatever that other place was.
On the other hand, Ravenholm.
We just end up in the AP for fucking Curse of Strahd.
I mean, technically that one does start with him luring you into his pocket dimension, so maybe. I just like the idea that you wander into Silent Hill and you're like, oh my god, my render distance is so low.
Oh, Lord. I miss when they came out with good games like that company.
Yeah. All right. So, if there wasn't anything else, did you want to do this day?
We are bewaring of living fire.
I do have a question. I forgot how the rules were for learning one of our tools. We can't do that during like the nights when we're resting and stuff.
Not marching. If you stay put for a day, you can.
I just double checking.
Yep. Because if you could learn languages and tools while marching, then by the end of this campaign, you'd be proficient in literally everything.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. Next level, I get like 4 more proficiencies and skills.
I mean, anytime you guys just want to pop down a camp for a week and just quickly do 1 week and 1 chunk for downtime to learn stuff, you totally can. I'm not trying to push you guys along.
Well, I mean, we're kind of on a quest, so.
Yeah. I'm just here for the ride, expecting everything to go really sideways really fast sooner or later.
What are you talking about? All of our adventures always go exactly 100% as planned. Anyways.
Oh, yes, the D&D conundrum.
Yep, there we go. Didn't need to reveal that, but next day. 1 second, then I'll describe this. Making sure my day tracker is still going. Day 182. You are officially half a year on this quest.
Mm-hmm.
This day, going through the cavern, you come to a kind of crossroads of the cavern here. The wider cavern that you have been traveling on continues forward, as the map shows, and there is another smaller series of tunnels that look like they meet up into just this central one. A little shop talk here. Sometimes, if you were to like actually be in first person, some of these smaller tunnels might have several entrances that just converge into one. But just on the map, they just only have the one, so it's easier. What interesting thing about this crossroad is that near the center of it, there is this kind of patch of like fine white dusty sand by the look of it.
Do a little survival around the area, see if I don't pick up any tracks or movement, disturbed rocks.
Sure.
Sand.
There are some tracks. Looks like some humanoid, a couple wagon wheels. Looks like lizard feet, a couple other animals that you don't recognize, but they actually look, they're going back and forth, and they look like they're at least a month, if not more, old.
And then I'm gonna immediately sniff the sand and see if I don't detect any of my enemies.
Give me an investigation while you're doing your primeval awareness.
Oh, I'm sniffing poo.
Taste it.
Okay. Yeah, there is no drow within 5 miles.
Any dwarves other than us?
Nope.
Okay. As y'all can see, there's been some passage here. Looks like some, when you said humanoid feet and then lizard prints, it looks like lizards were pulling carts.
Yeah, they look like big lizard prints.
Yeah. Looks like there's been some passage from in this area from below, from that little way.
It's a little difficult to tell. It's every which way.
And this is like the first appearance of like sand on the ground, or is like is it a lot, or
no? This is the first appearance of like a sand on the ground. Most of this has just been bared stone. There might be like a little gravel or something from just like stuff falling from the ceiling from the recent quake, but this is like a discernible amount. It's not ultra deep. If you stick your finger into it, it might go up to like your first joint. Before you hit stone.
Does it actually feel like sand, or does it look like ash?
It feels finer. It feels softer. You can give me an investigation if you'd like.
Does Thrum know of like a dangerous animal that hides in the sand, waiting for its prey?
You can give me nature.
Could be a fire pit.
23.
Okay. Thrum, there are so many animals that hide in sand.
Careful of spiders.
There's a massive list of them.
You know, we've met spiders. Not all of them are that bad.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that hide in the sand are right nasty buggers.
Fergis, you bend down. You feel that weird white sand. You kind of take up a little bit of it. You take a sniff. And something strikes you as odd about it. It doesn't quite feel like natural sand. It's not even like tiny rocks. Even and when I think it was Taskill mentions it could be a fire pit, a very large one at that, it hits you what this stuff reminds you of. It is a mixture of bone dust and ash.
Gotcha.
A whole lot of people died here a while ago, and this is all that remains.
Relay the information. Looks like that there's been a lot of death here, and gonna say don't really want to be part of that, but looks like we're going this way anyway, because I doubt we want to turn back to the place that literally drives people mad.
Sounds like the question then is, did they die by the fire, or was it cremation?
They did say there was living fire. There could be something that causes people to combust, which just sounds pleasant.
Nolgrim,
right.
What are you doing during this?
I think he's mainly just keeping an eye out. He's not really the most observant, but he's pretty good at investigations. But everybody seems to have that on lockdown.
Why don't you give me an investigation anyway?
All right.
Oh, nice. You're walking kind of the perimeter as they're discussing the idea of things that could just make people combust. When you take a step and your boot lands on something distinctly metallic, and you hear a faint clank from underneath the sand on stone.
I do not like the sound of that one.
It's probably some old cunt armor.
He would, without removing his foot from where he stepped, he's going to try to sweep it aside and see what it is. And hope it's not a trigger.
It is. You remove your foot, no problem, and you sweep it to the side, and you push back the weird bone sand, and it is a palm-sized mithril amulet or medallion, circular, with dwarven runes carved into it.
Do the runes have a... Well, actually, he would go over to Freya and say, see some rune work on this. Does it say anything of significant?
Do you touch it?
Yeah, to pick it up, you'd have to.
Yeah. When you pick it up, you have a sudden rushing sensation, and it's like all the air gets driven from your lungs for briefly. Your eyes go wide, and all of a sudden, you're not there anymore. You're experiencing a vision through the eyes of another, the previous owner of the amulet. And you can only just think of words in your head. So tired. You've been walking for days with little rest. The sting of Dammerhall's loss makes every step heavy. But you must press on. You must. Not for yourself, but for those hundreds who travel with you. They need every one of us now. They need every soldier, every miner, every matron, and yes, even every shoemaker like yourself. Master Horath speaks with great conviction that the entrance to the surface is not far, and there you will find allies there. These allies, perhaps they can provide shelter to the refugees who are with you. Dare you hope there is even still hope for retaking lost Dammerhall? Such notions seem impossible, even as you unfold your bedroll to make place amongst the 500 other dwarves. Worry about such things tomorrow. For now, some sleep. Yes, sleep. Wait, what's that? A cry of alarm is raised. You roll over, and where you've been sleeping just a moment there, 3 crossbow bolts embed themselves into your blanket. You recognize the black iron and bolt heads. Drow. You scramble onto your knees, moving desperately and shaking terrified. All around you, the drow are closing in. So now, I am going to move you guys to a new map.
Battle.
I am going to take this opportunity to try out the mass combat system. Except this time, you guys get to be the drow since they canonically win this fight.
Don't want that animus to desync. You have to repeat the level.
I just feel like it's a shitty tutorial if I literally just use all the mechanics to murder you guys with it.
Yeah.
All right, so first things first, can you guys move any of these tokens up here?
No.
Okay, that's what I feared. I never know if I put controlled by all players if they appear and you'll drop down, and I didn't want to spoil this.
Mhm.
I'm slowly but surely doing them all. Then I will reveal some sheets. This is going to be a lot of information, but I want to try this system I found before we get into
Before we commit to it.
Yeah, before we commit to it.
Just for future reference, Gombo,
Mhm.
if you set it to controlled by all players, then we all can control it. And if you don't set it so that we all have it in our journal, then we can't see it.
Okay.
So that's how you would set it so that we can all control them, but not be able to see them until we get to this screen.
Okay, that's good to know. So sorry, just taking a moment here.
Good time for a bio.
Yo, yeah. Hope you don't mind me going off book for this little tidbit here, but
You're good.
This
I'll
could
be right
practice
back.
for later when you have no choice but to go off book, right?
yeah. Well, this crossing thing was from the book, but I'm just elaborating.
I always love side quests,
Mm-hmm.
or what would you call these, tangents with other characters.
Yeah.
You get to be somebody else in the middle of being somebody.
Lizard Riders. The General Soldiers.
I'm definitely going with one of these drow that look fancier than the others.
Yeah.
I mean, call me crazy.
And then I'll share how they work. The mass combat system I found was pretty cool because it still retains a lot of like the base fighting of normal 5th edition. Like there's still an equivalent of a dodge action and a withdrawal action. All right, so there we go. Oh wait, you guys probably can't.
Okay, I'm back again.
Yep, no problem. I'm just realizing I made a mistake on the tokens here.
Did you hear that we found Dammerhall?
Nope. Fergus wouldn't believe it anyway.
So, for
No,
context,
see, we found Hammer Doll. Dammerhall is
Darn.
a mile that way.
so you guys can see all like the health bars and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll explain the combat mechanics in a second. All you guys need to know for right now is that the green bar is, with the exception of these in the little skull box up here, those are your commanders. I'll get to that in a second. But the rest of these, the green bar is how many troops are in that unit, and the red bar is how many hit points for each troop. Because basically how damage works is you have your unit's base damage, you multiply it times the number of troops, and then divide it by the hit points of the other one.
Oh,
So,
you
like-
could have gone with 10 on these instead of 11?
I literally just did what basic drow troops have.
Gotcha.
So I will
Yeah, in the future, make them round numbers. 10s, 15s, 20s.
all right, so show all players. You should have well, we have computers. So you should have the drow army handout now. I just showed you all.
Mhm.
So basically, I'm going to try my best to explain this because I can share the PDF with you guys after this, but it functions pretty much like normal combat.
I'm back.
Using okay, good, because I was just about to get into it, so that's nice. It functions pretty much like normal combat. Everything's got its AC. They got HP. And they have a range attack bonus that's still they got attack bonuses that are still a 1d20. And they got a speed and all that stuff. The key difference is that now units have facing. So on these drow units that you guys control up here, you should see a little blue pointer.
Mhm.
That's their current facing. So, happy days, Pathfinder fans. Flanking is back. So, essentially, how attacking works is that you move within the attack range for melee for your basic drow soldier would be adjacent. You'll roll an attack roll, so it's 1d20 plus 4. If you beat your target's AC, then you'll hit them, and you inflict an amount of damage equal to your attack, which is 4, multiplied by the number of troops. So, for example, in this drow army, you've got 100. So that would be 400 damage. And then I would divide that by the target's hit points. I'll be doing that math. And that'll be how many of their own number they lose. It sounds clunkier than it is once you get into it. Any questions so far before I go on to any more?
Many,
it's
but
pretty thick.
I'll be confused until we do it. So
It
What?
makes sense. The damage is just divided, and that's how many that are killed, rather than fiddling with hit points for everyone.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Because the red bar on your guys' sheets just never change. The green bar only will.
All right. So which ones of these do we control?
Real quick before I get into that, there is also morale. How morale works is that if a unit has lost any of their numbers, at the end of their next, or let me make sure it's at the end. At the end of each side's turn, after they lose numbers, they do what's called a morale check, where they roll their 1d20 plus their morale bonus. So for these drow, it would be +2, and you're looking for a 10. If you get under a 10, then you're wavering, which means you have disadvantage on all attack rolls. And then and further morale checks, and if you fail a second morale check, you're routing, which means all they can do is run away to the edge of the map.
Let's get it on.
All right, so you guys control all the drow forces. What this little box up here is your 5 commanders. They're just generic drow right now. These would traditionally be the place of, say, player characters. If we were to do a thing with your guys' characters. So what you guys can do is you can choose to embed them in any of your units. I gave them the colored dots for that reason. You can just put any of those colored dots. You guys can pick a color. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. And how heroes work is that they have a number of what's called hero points equal to their level. So in this case, they'd be all level 8s. And you can spend a number of hero points on any d20 roll equal to your proficiency bonus. So in this case, it's 4. So you can spend up to 4 hero points. And each hero point added adds a +1 to either like your attack roll. You can use it to instantly boost your unit's AC. You can use it to increase their damage by the number of hero points you add, or add it to a morale check. But once you use all 8 of your hero points, you can't do anything more with that for the rest of the map. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So, you guys can choose which colors you want, and you can embed yourself in whatever. These green boxes you guys should see are your deployment areas. Now, you have received orders from the Matron Mother and the Queen herself that there is to be no survivors and no slaves. You're supposed to kill all the dwarves in their entirety, so you can't let any of them escape. These tunnels over here are narrow, so they would be considered difficult terrain. Since you guys are newer, I will remind you that I believe it is your Drow Outriders, which are the ones on the lizards, have an ability called Stride, which lets them ignore difficult terrain.
Cool, we're sending them all through there.
So you
Yeah,
guys,
so how many of these guys do you want us to pick?
you use all of them. This is your entire army.
Oh, good
I'll go
lord.
with orange, and I'll go in from the side and bring the mages through the flank.
Well, here, what you do instead of that, you leave your guy up here and just put an orange dot on one of the 2 mage units.
Gotcha.
Mage units are considered special forces, which is they only have 10 in their number, but they got higher hit points and they've got crazy good special abilities. Like a special forces of mages can generally just like nuke 80 people in one attack roll pretty easily.
Why are we putting lizard folk in the tunnels when cavalry probably
because they can go through difficult terrain with these.
Oh, gotcha.
So I would figure we would have the Outriders there to prevent retreating, and have the mages attack from the other 2 sides.
And don't forget to rotate your tokens for your facing as well.
Remind me how you rotate them.
You click them, and then you should see like a little nubbin that's over the top.
Oh, yeah, it's over the top.
You only
Gotcha.
tag one of them, he said, because that's the one you're leaders with.
That's the one you're leading personally. You can all
Oh.
choose.
I gotcha.
It's up to you guys as players amongst yourself to decide what units you want to control, because you all take your turn at the exact same time.
I'll be green.
Guess I'll be purple.
Got red over here.
All right.
I'm just going with the color that matches the icon on my name tag.
That's
Yeah,
what I did.
didn't have my color up there, so.
All right.
Because there is no manila dot.
No Manila dot, sadly not.
So, because this is technically an ambush, you guys get to go first. So I'll just add one of you to the initiative as one. Normally, you'd roll a charisma or intelligence check for the commander of the army, but since I didn't make stat sheets for your commanders,
Gotcha.
okay. So there are some other miscellaneous modifiers and stuff that I will bring up as we get into it, but I don't want to front load you with too much information. So yeah. If you guys are set up, we can.
Yeah, we're ready.
All right.
Operation Squishy Squishy Bang Bang.
Heal.
Also, much like normal combat with on a personal scale, if you are not attacking, you could use your action to double move.
And when it says speed 1, that means you can move 1 tile per round?
One tile, yes.
Okay.
I told you, you fool. It's Operation Beard Trim.
So, do we just start off whoever?
Yeah, you guys all take your turn at the same time, so you kind of just decide as a group what you want to do.
Is the range?
Operation Stumpy Thumper.
4.
Yeah, who's the screen guy down here? He's in position, so why don't he go ahead?
Yeah, the green one I was going to have. I think I have to change their visual.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I forgot to mention. At the end of your movement, you can change your facing to whatever you want. And if someone's flanking you, you can spend your unit's reaction, because they have attacks of opportunity in this, to whirl around, but then you'll be exposing your flank to someone else.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to see what I need to do for the Drow Mage's Magic Strike ability.
yeah, Magic Strike, you get 5 of those per battle. It's an attack action.
Okay.
You can hit one unit up to 3 spaces away, and it automatically hits.
Okay.
Because depending on what you roll on the 20, it's a percentile damage thing.
Okay.
And it inflicts 6 damage per one of your mages, so that's 60 damage if it's a full unit of mages.
Mhm.
And you get 5 of those per battle.
All right.
So I think we already moved the units on the bottom right.
Mhm.
I was just gonna say that the Gecko Rider guys over here should probably have them go last, just because they're mainly there to stop people from running away.
I'm gonna have my purple guy go ahead and attack, right? 1d20 plus 4.
Do you want to do melee first, or do you want to have your ranged units lay into them before you have your melee troops engaged with the front lines? Because you might be able to thin their numbers.
Is the ranged a area of a?
Yeah, range before melee, I think.
Yeah,
Sure.
just
Sure.
to frame a reference, each one of these squares is 100 feet. So if you're using normal spells, even fireballs wouldn't be hitting your own troops.
I assume this ballista here is going to go for this one over here.
No, my purple commander's just laying into this group in front. He didn't follow the orders.
Okay. Let me scroll down to the attack percentiles.
I'm afraid he didn't hit. If they have AC above 8.
Yes, they do. These are medium armored dwarves with shields. So
Watch,
they're-
despite all of our advantage, we lose.
Yeah. So this fool just ran into a spear wall of dwarves and wasn't able to get through it.
All right. So let me see. Yeah, so let me compare because depending on, so let's see, their AC is 16. Yeah, so you do no damage. I'm gonna put a thing in the Skype chat real quick. I just remembered I should show you guys.
Well, after that one decided to go through heedlessly, I was going to have this one target, probably this one then.
Target. Oh, the defenders. Gotcha.
Yeah, so.
Range attack of +5, and you can spend a bonus action to have advantage on it.
Oh, can
Which
you?
You're doing nothing else with your bonus action.
Yeah.
Because it's like a double fire ballista bolt.
Oh, Skype popped in, so I can't. There we go.
Oh, sorry. That I was just sharing the damage percentage track.
So 22.
22, which surpasses their AC of 16.
So range damage of 15.
So, yeah. So let's see. You had exceeded it by. Yeah, you definitely exceed it by 5. So you do 100% of your damage. So 15 times the number of ballistas, which is 10. So that's 150 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you wiped that group out.
And now I divide it by their hit points of 12 to determine how many.
Still quite a few.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, I see. It's not how many people you do, it's how much collective hit point damage. Okay.
Yeah. So they lost 13 in that barrage of just ballista bolts laying into them. Looking beyond them, it looks like these dwarves back here are mostly like peasants and civilians with just like whatever light implements they can pick up, along with a few dwarves with heavy crossbows.
So the shoemaker's in there.
Yeah, basically. These 2 units of dwarven defenders are like some of the only trained soldiers on the field at the moment. But you guys still have the rest of your melee troops and the mages.
Yeah, I guess for the rest of my actions, since I'm controlling this one here, I'll lay into that one with this one and this one. But this one, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple hero points to add a couple +2 to its attack. So let me see. They have a +4 to hit.
Actually, if I remember correctly, let me check something. I don't want to cheat you out of stuff, so I'm going to make sure that hero points can be added after the roll if we want. Yeah, here we go. If you would like, hero points can be spent after the roll is made, but before the outcome is determined. So if you natural 1 with it, you don't have to blow a hero point.
Okay. What I'll actually do instead, though, is I'll have this one hit it with the fairy fire. And that'll give this one advantage.
Yes. Also, well, no, you're both hitting all their front lines, so you're not flanking. So never mind. If you were here, you'd be flanking.
Yeah, but we only had 1 space of movement, so.
22.
No, that was the previous roll.
Oh, sorry.
16.
16 hits it on the money. So if you look at the chart I just put in Skype, that's the damage.
Huh?
Yeah, you do. So you do half damage. So it would be 4 damage times 100. So it'd be 200 damage total. And then I divide that by their health. So it would be 212.
But I think that one has fairy fire now until it gets rid of it. Or...
Yeah. I'll mark it.
Says once per battle can make a melee attack against.
Oh, so that doesn't use its turn. It just uses
Oh.
it to. So that would have just been that one attacked.
So
then I would
that
still have another one to attack with too.
that killed 17 in that push.
Yep. And I guess I'll roll again because might as well have it do fairy fire again and swing twice and miss terribly.
So that did miss, but if I remember correctly,
If it's by less than 5, it still does damage.
yeah. So
Misses by 1 to 4, 10% damage
so you
per
do,
point.
yeah, because their AC is 16 and you got a 12.
So minimum damage would be like 1.
That would be 10% damage per. So it would be 10% of your normal damage. So that would be 10 damage. So yeah, that you'd only be killing one of them.
Huzzah. But then other people can do their things.
Yep.
These 3 soldiers down here are spent.
Also,
And this ballista, right?
Yeah, and there's ballista. So
Why don't we go
the
ahead
mage
and
is the
wrap
only
up
one
this
left here.
stage?
I think both mages are in range to do something.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
don't forget, you can spend your hero points after the attack roll, or you can add it to your unit's damage as well. So just keep that in mind for future.
I didn't hear about the damage part.
I think we should have the lower mage go after this with Arcane Strike and probably tap a hero point to beef it
Oh,
up.
There's
Do it.
no mage in that.
Yeah,
unit.
Down
there's.
here.
Let's go.
This one. I don't.
Yeah.
There's no. Is there a dot on it? I don't see a dot.
Oh,
Are we controlling the non-dot creatures?
You're controlling all of
Yes,
them.
we control them, but the hero that we're
Oh,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, can I switch stats real quick? Just
Yeah, sure.
because this one was closer, so.
Because at the start of your turn, your commander can go to any other unit that they could reasonably get to on the battlefield, but you just can't do that in between attack rolls.
Gotcha. Okay, so
Alright.
yeah, we'll go with this mage and laying down the hurt with a hero point using Arcane Strike or Magic
Okay.
Strike.
So only one hero point, because you have 8 and you can spend up to 4 in one.
spin
Pump it
all
up.
4.
Yeah, let's spend all 4 and really just try to hammer
Alright.
home on this
Pump
guy.
up the jams.
So that will be 8 damage times 10, so that's 80 damage. It automatically hits with 100% effectiveness. 80 damage. All right.
I thought it says it does 6 points of damage to the target instead of the 5.
Oh,
that
right.
normally
Sorry.
does.
Yeah. Sorry, I did bad math. So that's 10. That'll do significantly more. So that's 10 times 10. So it's 100 points. Okay, that'll kill significantly more.
Just checking.
Yep.
I hate for these filthy dwarves to get the better of us.
Seriously.
Yeah, your
Oh,
magic
no.
rips into that line, and they take some pretty hefty losses there, but they're still there.
Mm.
All right. So I believe that's the southern flank.
Mm-hmm. Southern's all
Wait, they only took 13 losses? Oh,
Well-
we've hit these guys twice. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think we should have the riders stay in here, or should they come out and attack?
I would say have them push up, but still keep the
I
thing
say keep
sealed.
2 back and move 2 in.
Yep.
Okay. Then I will move my commander over to this one. And then let's see.
And they can move 2 spaces.
Yeah, they've got a range of 3.
Yeah, because they also have some.
Mhm.
So they can get like right here and lay on the hurt to pretty much any of the people here.
And they probably
Same
only have
place.
1 speed, so as long as you stay more than 1 away, you won't get hit.
Yep, that's what light cavalry is supposed to do. They're skirmishers.
I think they can only move 2.
Yeah,
They can only
unless
do
you,
two?
if you use your action, you can double move if you want, but then you can't attack.
But they can move
Yeah,
up to like
but-
here and then fire because they
But
have
remember,
range.
Michael, these are ranged. You don't want to get them side by side.
Oh, they are right.
Their stats are switch hitters, but they've got range. It's equal to their melee, so you might as well.
Yeah, they're basically the rangers of this army.
Okay. Then move right there. And we can move this one. Now we'll keep him right here and then turn him. Doesn't really matter, but
Not yet, but once they get through.
yeah. Move him face. this.
But I would never deign to tell the Honorable Outrider Commander his job. I would advise cutting down these filthy dwarven archers.
What kind of dwarf uses a ranged weapon?
Yeah, actually,
I
I
stole.
it's
Uh,
late. These dwarves right here.
I borrowed the name of the Dwarven Range unit from Warhammer Total War just because it's so great. They're called Dwarven Quarrelers. I'm like, that's just too good. That's a perfect name for a dwarf ranged unit.
Okay, so right here, first attack, fairy fire tactics, so it's made an advantage.
I believe Fairy
All
Fire
right.
Tactics only works
His
with
melee. Yeah.
Oh, it's melee.
Yep.
A melee attack. Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So,
Well-
both are targeting this quarreler right here.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm gonna do one before the other, but I don't think I'm gonna take them out. Obviously, looking at the damage other people have done.
All right.
So let's see. So melee attack. So I just roll a d20 plus 3.
20 plus 3. Each attack.
9.
Let me check their AC. Their AC is 13, so you do 10% of your full damage.
Okay, and then what's the damage?
Uh,
So the
take-
damage is
It's a static number, so
Yeah, it's a static number, so you don't have to roll that. That's what makes this not be a flavors.
okay,
200,
roll-
so 10% of that'd be 20.
So 20 damage. So your first volley kills 2 dwarves.
and then the second one. 20 plus 3, 13.
Let me see.
so it equals it, so it'd be 100 damage, I believe.
If it equals it, that's 50% damage.
So 100, I think, is because the max
Yeah.
is 200.
Mhm.
I think I heard right.
Yes.
50 times 4, yeah.
Did you want to, since your second one has your commander in it, did you want to spend any hero points to boost your damage?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. How many are you putting down?
I guess let's just do one on the second, the 50%, 100 damage.
Okay. So then that would be
140? No, 120.
So 1 would be 5 damage.
it would be
250, half of that would be 125.
so 125.
Okay. I don't know.
So 125. All right. That volley catches them much harder than the first one. They've lost about a third of their number to your first volley of arrows.
All right.
And then that just leaves the northern battalion left.
I think the mage is the only one that can still do anything.
I think they
think-
did they already move up or no?
Yeah, these guys haven't
That's
moved up yet.
600. Each one's 100 feet.
Yeah, so if the front line moves up, then the mages could come up behind them. The mage only has 1 speed, so they're slow, but they could deal the hurt.
No, I
Oh.
guess they only have 2 space range.
So
Yeah,
double move
But
these
not
guys.
if they use a magic strike.
Yeah, because you can, if you don't have anything else to do, you can always double move them.
Well,
So
I think we can move them up 1, then hit these guys with the magic strike.
And then also with the ballista too.
Yeah.
So move them up 1 more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think we should keep this one back a little bit so they don't try to squeeze through this way.
All right, so I'm guessing the ballistas are coming up.
Ballista and
Yeah,
mage.
type it out.
Yeah. Mage will go ahead and use the magic strike.
Okay. So that would just
So
be
just 6 damage.
16 times 10, so it's 60 damage, and then I'll do the math on my end. Okay. And then
Let's see if I remember this syntax right. I am going to activate the multi-bolt action as a bonus. Yes, I do.
Oh, nice. That might be helpful in the future.
Mhm.
So that's 150 damage total.
Mhm.
Because you get, so it's 18, and their AC is 16, so you do pass, so you do 70% of your total damage.
Mhm. 70. 0.7 times point. God damn it, fucking calculator. If anyone else is
Yeah. You're 150 divided by 0.7, if I remember correctly.
It'd be multiplied.
no times 0.7.
Yeah. Listen. Math and me.
All right, 105. I got my
105.
calculator up. Y'all just call out numbers.
Yeah, no, mine. When I tried to change from divide by to times, it said can't divide by 0. I'm like, I didn't want you to.
All right. Skewer several more dwarfs, and then I think that's your entire team has acted.
Yes.
Yes.
Now I roll for morale for all the people that got hit this turn. So Dwarven Defenders have morale bonus of 2, so I will need to make 2 rolls for these guys. First one passes.
Oh, icon to.
Second one passes. And now for the Dwarven Warlocks. Oh, the Dwarven Quarrelers are wavering. So now they'll have disadvantage on all their attack rolls, and you guys will have advantage against them until they can get themselves under control. I know, this one, I guess. All right. Everyone good so far?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The dwarves' turn. Skype going to face to engage him. The militia is going to try to break for the tunnels. While the defenders try to hold the line. All right, so first things first, the northern group of Dwarven Quarrelers will attack the central Drow infantry. So they will be doing this. This will be at disadvantage, so I'll roll twice and take the worst result. 14. Ooh, natural 1. They do no damage at all. All their bolts go wide.
That's easy math.
Yep, that's the nice one. The southern ones, who haven't taken any damage so far, will attack straight on into this one. They will just doing the attack roll normal. 17, I believe, that hits the AC of...
The Drow Soldier's AC is 15, so...
Yep, so that's 2 higher, so they do...
Do you want to call out the numbers and I'll just do the math, Gombo?
Sure, if that makes it easier. They have 50 in their number, and they do... For God's sake, sheets. Roll 20. 3 damage.
All right, so 150 damage.
And is it 70% of that, since they exceeded it by 2?
Yeah, 70% of that.
So 105 damage divided by 11?
105 divided by 11, yeah. I believe
So
that's
we
right.
lose 9.5 guys.
Round up. So 10.
Okay, so we lose 10. I'll mark it down.
All right.
If we just say the numbers out loud, I can hit them in the calculator and we can just go fast because it'll all be calculated on one sheet.
All right. Now the Dwarven Defenders. The north one will attack this other north one. They have a +4 to attack. So 19 will hit.
Yep.
That'll do 90% of their damage. They're 4 damage, and there's 100 of them.
Well, there's only 86 of them left.
86 of them. You're right.
All right,
Sorry.
so they do 344 damage. Is it at 100% or at 70%?
I think it's at 90%, yeah.
Times 0.9. So they do 309 divided by 11.
Yep.
So they take out round up no matter what the number is, so 28.1 becomes 29.
Yeah, it's just easier that way.
All right, so they killed 29.
Dwarves showing their mettle there. And now the southern one will attack this central unit here that was hit by the quarrelers. 13.
We'll miss by 2. So I think they'll do 30% damage.
And they do 4 damage.
4
Yeah.
damage, and there's 69 of them.
Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
0.3, so that's 82.8 divided by 11. So that's 8 killed. And did they hit this group of 90?
Yeah, the group of 90.
I was already subtracting the 8, so.
Okay. Richard, you tell me the multipliers and you subtract them. I'll run the calculator, and then everybody else runs the north, south, and west army.
The calculation part is a little bit clunky in this system, but I kind of get what they were going for with it.
Yeah,
I think
once
when
you
we
get
start
it
doing
down,
this
it's pretty
more,
easy.
we'll get used to it.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
not really that hard to pick up. I'm starting to get it.
So that's gonna be all of them. So I need morale rolls for
2 units.
2 units, both drow infantry.
Let's see, D20 plus 2. I'll do one of them. So that's a 22. I think they're fine.
Yes. Also, the second one, this southern one down here, it is between friendly units, so it has advantage on it.
Someone else
So
can roll that one since I already rolled the 1.
Yep. So they have advantage on that morale. And you're just looking for a 10.
Doesn't everybody roll at once?
Yeah.
Just go ahead and roll it again.
I'm setting up macros to copy paste. So
Well, I'm pretty sure they failed.
Yeah.
So that's they failed. So they are wavering.
Pansies.
And let me see here. If I remember correctly, let me just double check this. If they're no longer adjacent to enemy units, they can make a morale check to try to stop wavering.
Gotcha.
But that is now your guys' turn.
Since I'm already.
Well, I know what I want to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this first lizard man is moving up 1, still aiming at the archer. Like down here, I guess.
Yeah.
Then second lizard person. Would this be? Will I have to go here, then here, and that's 2?
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't think I can go diagonally through that. corner.
Not
Just-
in these tunnels. In the open
Just don't
ground.
leave the tunnels exposed.
Yeah, no, that was my plan. My plan was just move them here, which would still not leave the tunnel exposed.
Mm.
So
Although if you move this one to here, I think you can still fire on this one.
yeah,
Mhm.
that was gonna be my next move. So 1, 2, turn to face this way. And can I back this one up without that one attacking? Can I back this lizard up without that dwarf attacking?
Do they have AOs for moving?
They do. So you can take a withdraw action.
You could also
which is
have it
like
do
a
melee
switch.
damage too.
Oh, yeah, or you can do melee. You have the.
Yeah. I'm just wondering because if I should try to bring them into the difficult terrain.
I will say what you could do, like theoretically, since this is shop talk anyway,
Yeah.
you could have them roll at advantage with the fairy fire tactics, and if they hit, you could add 4 hero points to the damage and just try to decimate a troop.
Yeah, that does sound kind of fun. Let's do that. So fairy fire tactic on this guy.
So it's a +3 roll twice.
Yep. And the dwarven militia is not that great.
So 1,
there's just a lot of them.
2. Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay. Well, yeah, can't do much about that, huh?
Well, good news is that you didn't spend any hero points unnecessarily.
Yeah. Well, You win some, you lose some.
Did you want to have this one to take any ranged attacks against anyone?
Yeah, so
This one could also hit this one, I think.
Yeah, that was my plan because he can't hit anyone else.
Mm-hmm. And I believe you. Let me double check the rules for flanking. That might be flanking, so you might be entitled to a +2.
Well, let's do this attack against the archer dwarf first, the one that I've been attacking.
Oh no, you have to be in melee to flank. Gotcha. All right. Attack rolls against this one are at advantage because it's wavering.
Okay, let's see if I can roll better advantage now. 5. 14.
The Quarrelers have an AC of 13.
So that's 60% effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So 60% of where are the Outriders? Outriders damage is 4. There's 50 of them. So 200. 60% of 200 is 120. Is that right?
Sounds about right.
So 120 damage.
All right. And the Quarrelers.
Yep, 120.
They lose 12 more.
Okay, and then the last attack against. That way. Last attack against that dwarf right there through the tunnel.
Gotcha.
You said no flanking, so just
Yeah, because I checked. You have to be in the space behind them. 18 will hit, though. Their AC is 16. So you do 70% damage.
That's 140. Sorry, I
Mhm.
had a call.
No worries. So 100 and... So 140...
It's their hit points. I'll divide if you want.
Yeah, they got 12 hit points. So I believe that should be 12 dead.
12, yeah.
And once the Outriders are done, I know what I want to do, so I'll go next.
Yep, I believe the Outriders are done.
Okay, so I'm going to bonus
Wait,
action to
did
advantage.
Wait,
That's
really quick.
Yep.
Did I attack these guys? Range?
I don't think you did. No.
No. So go ahead and do that first.
So the last attack here was 5. Never mind.
Nope.
Yep.
So yeah, the bonus action thing with the ballista against this guy.
Mhm.
What is there to hit? It is +5.
So that's 50 times 5?
Oof.
Oh, they're to hit. Okay.
Yeah. So the defenders have an AC of 16. So I believe the 11
That's
only does
10%.
10% damage. Yeah.
So 10% of 150.
That's 15.
15
If
damage.
they got
so-
16, that'll actually miss.
Oh,
completely.
if they have 16, it is less than 5.
Oh,
so-
yeah, because it's less than 5. So never mind, they miss.
Okay. Well, and then I'll have this. Actually, fuck it. In for a penny. Flank the fucker. No, that'll leave the mages open.
You could move here and you get flanking.
That'll still leave the mages exposed to an attack.
Yeah, if
I'll
they
just
want to
stay
put
there.
all their flanks into you. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm still gonna just stick with here.
Okay.
So that'll be an attack with that one. 15.
15. So their AC is 16. So you
So 90% effectiveness.
no, you do 40% of your damage.
40%. Okay.
Because you're 1 under.
1 under.
Yep.
Wait, I thought if it was, oh yeah, so far 40%.
Their AC is 16. So
Yeah,
you're just-
no, I mathed wrong.
it's no problem.
So that's 400 damage, right? Because 4 times 100.
Mhm.
And so 40% of 400. Why can't I math today? I'm so tired.
It's okay. This is a kind of the mass combat system I found is a little
160, I believe.
160 divided by 12. They take 14 casualties.
And then the last one, I believe, is a disadvantage that all I'm controlling.
Yep, it's a disadvantage.
Well, for the next time, I've already got ways to set up this stuff as token actions, and it should make it a lot easier.
Yep.
So
That
there's
was-
another 100
15.
and yeah, it's another 160 damage.
So another 15 dead? Wait, 15? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're below their half numbers, so that's not good for them.
All right. I'll attack with my purple guy since he's right there.
Okay.
See if we can't finish that guy off.
Nope.
Yep.
Whoever the purple commander is,
Purple guy's terrible.
she is very much whiffing hard.
They got through the position by their looks only.
I mean, it is Drow, so that's
He slept his way up.
totally
Yeah,
possible.
they fuck their way to the top.
Incredible lung capacity.
All right. I believe
So it's just the top
mages-
army and the mages.
Yeah, the mages have
Alright.
done.
We'll start with the orange guy going against this one. We'll use another magic strike and dump 2 hero points. See if we could break these
I was
guys.
gonna say you just dump all 4 like you can in one turn.
But
And
then he's out for the rest of the battle.
Yeah.
I thought you still had. I don't think you used any
He
yet.
used 4 last time.
Yeah,
Oh, gotcha. Never mind.
I think.
Alright.
So that'd be make it 8. So 80 damage.
80 damage. Divide by 12.
So that would be like 8 people lost, right? Because last time it was 15 for 160.
That's 8 dead. There's only 32 out of their 100 left, so they're going to be doing their morale check at disadvantage because they're below half in one round. So
If we had the mage up here move down, we could have it target these guys and start trying to whittle away at them.
I was thinking either that or going after these guys, but yeah, actually these look pretty rough. So yeah, we'll go ahead and
Yeah,
hit
honestly,
them
just
with the magic strike too.
yeah, 'cause you
whittle
guys should
down
be
the
able
ones
to
that are
see
already
their
weakened.
numbers.
Yeah.
Because I figured that you could use your eyes to go, that's like half the size it was at the start of the battle.
Mhm.
Constantly trying to steal the achievement of the Drow Outriders as usual.
So that one would do with that ability, it would just do 60 damage to this one.
All right.
I imagine that's what Loki's gonna do because
Yeah, just
Auto
hit him
hitting.
with the magic
Yep.
strike wall.
They have 10 hit points, so that's just a nice, easy 6 casualties. They're not in good shape at all. And that still leaves the rest of the army and the ballista.
Well, bonus action to tell these lazy slobs to reload faster.
Mhm.
And I guess that still leaves the regular action to shoot the militia here.
Oh, the defenders? Yeah.
So let's see how this works out. 23 will hit pretty good, so I
Yep.
would like to
100% damage.
spend. Yeah, I would like to spend 4 points on damage increases. So that will
190.
actually.
So that's 15 plus 4, so that's 19 damage times 10. So it's 190 damage. That would be 16 casualties, according to my calculation.
So yeah,
Sounds right to me.
190. Worth it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's quite a few dead dwarves.
And then we have these guys. I don't think who have used fairy fire. They could just start unloading on them.
Yes. Also, if I remember correctly, all these guys will have +2s to attack roll because you've got people in flanking positions now. Or actually, hold on, let me double check to make sure I'm reading the rules right. I
At
know
least
the,
2 of them will.
the bat guy has flanking. I know for certain.
I'm pretty sure at least 2 of them do. I'm not sure about the middle guy.
Yeah, I don't think the middle guy does, but this one and this one does, which is convenient considering the middle guy is the one with the lowest numbers.
So they'll have +6s to hit.
Yes.
I'll do one if someone else wants to do the other.
Did you roll us a plus?
+6.
+6 total. Ooh, full
Oh, I didn't-
damage. Well, the
I
first
didn't
one
mean to
still
roll
counts.
twice. Yeah, sorry.
The first one still counts.
And I guess I'll do the middle one.
Full damage, and then that second one is 90% damage.
So 400 and 360.
Yeah,
And
so
here's for the middle guys in case they survive.
100 divided. Well, 400 divided. Ooh, that's a grievous loss. The one that maneuvered around to get into the flank there, they charged in and catch them by surprise where the shields weren't facing, and that's 34 casualties in one charge.
And I think it's the same amount of damage by the other one. Or no, 90. That's 360.
Well, they only got 24 left, so I'm pretty sure you guys killed them all.
Can Nolgrim's hit go on the guys below?
No,
No,
that was
he's
the first
he's
one.
the
Was
one
that one?
That was the first one.
But this one could move down and use that attack against these guys because he hasn't moved yet.
It's true.
Yeah.
So let me just double
If he
check.
dies.
So 20. That's 90% damage.
So I think it's
So-
360.
Okay. Let me just double check to make sure I'm not 360.
360 no scope. Go.
Yeah. They don't even. Basically, these dwarves are holding the line, and all your numbers mobilize, and they don't even have a time to break before you kill them all. Every last dwarf, no survivors.
Wow.
And then middle gets to step up and take on the archers, you
Yep.
say?
Yep.
Come on, dwarves.
All right, so that is 255.6 damage with the.
Their AC is 13.
Oh, yeah, no, then that's full.
Yep.
Probably 284, given that's the 10th.
Yeah, because it's 4 damage times 71.
It's 284.
280 divided by. Yeah, so they. Oh, yeah, and that attack roll would have been an advantage, but doesn't matter because you kill all them too. Basically, what it is that they're already kind of wavering, feeling uncertain, and then all of a sudden, just in one swift maneuver that the Drow are known for, the defenders that they are depending on holding the line just fall, and then that entire battalion of 71 advances forward and just lays into the core, just killing.
Then I get to move my ballista up. Yay!
Yeah,
You can't spell slaughter without laughter.
Yeah.
The only one that took damage the militia also have to roll morale now, as well as the defenders. The defenders will be at disadvantage.
I do think we've killed almost all of their actual soldiers.
Yep. These guys are wavering. And then the militia, if I remember correctly, the morale bonus is, +0. Unsurprisingly, this militia group is also beginning to. Wait, actually, hold on. Let me double check some because I think I remember a rule where breaking starts causing chain reactions. So let me see. Because I feel like 2 units dying in one round probably would have an effect on everyone else.
Yeah, but where are they going to go?
Yeah. Morale. No, it just gives people disadvantage.
Yeah, so let's just keep
Yep.
on.
So it is their turn. The defender and the quarrelers there are still trying to hold the line. This one here is going to try to push in. Just sheer weight of bodies. This one is going to spend their action to withdraw to here to not get attacked by that unit of drow. So we'll resolve the militia first, as they're all attacking this unit of Outriders. So they have +1 to their attacks. So I'll just roll all 3 at once. 1, so it's 18, 18, 11. The Outriders AC is 14. So 90% damage, 90% damage, and then
Nothing, I think.
nothing.
Wait, no. No, that's less. That's more than. So the other one does do damage too.
What damage do they do?
They have 2 damage, and there's 150 in each unit.
But also the bottom one, the 11, does still do damage because their AC is 14.
Mhm.
So I think it does like 10% damage, doesn't it, or 20%?
10% damage, I believe.
So they lose 15 guys, then 15 more guys.
This is a prudent time to point out that Michael, you could use hero points to boost your AC if you wish.
By how much?
Up to 4.
Up to 4. You can increase your AC to up to 4. It's 1
So
point.
then it would be 50% damage by 2 of them and no damage from one of them, rather than 90, 90, and 10.
Yeah, so we have 3 hero points, or is it?
We
You
have
have
8 total.
8 total.
8. Oh, okay. Then
And you
yeah,
can spend up to 4 in a single go.
Of course, I'm gonna.
In gameplay terms, its character level is your total hero points, and then the amount you can spend in a single action is your proficiency bonus.
Okay. Yeah, then I'm gonna bring up my AC with 1.
So then they'd lose 9 guys, then 9 more guys, and then what was the
Nothing
amount?
else. So it would just be a total of 18.
11 would whiff hard.
So they're down to 32 rather than like 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were going to get wiped because there was still some more from the 11, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
And now they can run to back here and still attack.
Oh, yeah. Because these tunnels are difficult terrain, so the militia would have to spend their movement and their action to move 1 space.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up is the last group of quarrelers are going to attack the Wavering Drow Center. These guys are full fighting fit, so they will attack, which I believe is exactly equal to the Drow AC.
It's 1 higher.
So
So
you want to
that'll
roll
be
twice if
60%.
they're
So
waiver.
They do. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. They have advantage. We'll start a cope there. Ooh, yep,
100% damage then.
100% damage. So they do 4 damage times 50. So that's 200 points of damage divided by the Drow health.
Oh, divided by
dead.
11.
Mhm.
No, it's divided. They shouldn't be completely dead from that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we should have been
There's-
able to kill their
There's
forces way
82 of
faster.
them.
I
There's
said 19 dead.
Oh, okay.
19 dead. Oh,
I thought you said they're all dead.
no way.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay. And now the last group of defenders will also attack the same center. However, they are at
Flat roll, I think.
disadvantage.
I think they're a flat roll because they're both at advantage and disadvantage against each other.
Well called. Yep.
'Cause 2 rights make a left.
22.
That'll be 100% damage.
All right. And they also do 4 damage, and there is 32 of
32.
them. So
They kill 12.
the Drow center there is just getting hammered. Jokes.
Only half are enjoying it. The half that
now-
are still alive.
Now, this group of militia here is going to try to stop wavering because they are not adjacent to anyone. So it's just going to be a flat D20 at disadvantage. And they are still wavering. Now, I believe we need a morale check from the center and this group of outriders.
All right.
18, but it's at a disadvantage, huh?
Yes, it's at disadvantage because you're wavering already.
So 14 for the morale of the drow
That's
soldiers.
totally fine. Because you're looking for a 10.
So it's 1d20 plus
Whatever their morale is.
Yep. And you're just fishing for a 10.
Nope.
Outriders
If
have 3
you
morale.
want, you could spend 1 hero point to stop yourself from wavering.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right, just make sure you're keeping track of how many you have.
Keeping track, I had 5.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I forgot and why I gave him a health bar. It's not important in this battle, but in the actual in an actual game where we have characters involved in this, if an army attacks a unit that you're embedded in, like these Outriders, and their attack roll beats your character's AC, you would take an amount of weapon damage on your PC character. It's not super important in this engagement, but it's just making
I like
that
that.
your characters take a little bit of wear and
It
tear.
wouldn't be significant. I mean, the most they
Yeah.
do is like 4 and 5
For, like,
damage. But
These dwarven militia, we're talking like 1d6 damage, you know. But it means that if then you engage in a normal combat in the middle of the battle or after the battle, you actually have some scars.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's the dwarves' turn. It's back to you guys.
I'll go first this time.
Go ahead. Michael had a question.
No, I was just gonna go. Richard can go ahead and go if he wants.
Okay.
I was just gonna, since I can move and flank this guy.
Yeah.
It's already at advantage, but it'll be a +2.
I was going to rain some hell on them.
Well, I'm not going after the archers. I'm going after the guy in between us.
Yep, because fun fact, normally moving from spaces adjacent would still provoke an attack, but the drow infantry have mobile, so they don't have to worry about that.
And I'm going to just go ahead and pump 4 points right into this damage. So that'll be
Alright.
800 damage.
Ooh.
Yeah. I believe with their AC of 16, 21 is 100%. So.
So that'll be 800 damage.
800 damage divided by 12 is 67 casualties. They are very dead. See what good positioning does for you?
Right?
As you just catch them in a pincer maneuver and they go down.
Meanwhile, 20 to hit
20
against
to hit.
the archers.
The Quarrelers have an AC of 13, so I believe that's 100% damage.
Yeah, and then I do want to go for these guys up here.
It's fine. I just know I wanted to try to get rid of that issue right there.
So
And-
15 times 10, 150.
Mhm.
150. They take 15 casualties.
And before we have the top row or the outriders go, I'll just have the disadvantage guy go.
Since, let's see, 1, 2. Oh, no, these guys are in range. Okay.
So 19 at disadvantage against this guy will still be 100% damage.
Yep.
So it's 4 times 51. So that'll be 204 damage.
All right.
Okay, so
And then I'll leave the rest for everybody else.
yeah.
21. It's just 14 archers left.
The Outrider general here is gonna stand tall. Gonna turn to these guys as we have some pinch going on here.
That's flank, so that will give you +2 to your attack rolls.
All right, we're starting with the Outrider general. I pump hero points into his damage, right? If he hits.
You can
Or hit.
do damage or attack roll. You just can't spend more than your proficiency bonus in one turn.
And you only have 3 points left anyway. So, but you can also roll before you commit them to an attack roll.
You can roll and see what you'll get. That's why everyone's been like saving them for those. They have an AC of 11, so 20 is 100% damage.
Okay, and then I will pump the maximum of
So 3.
4.
You only have 3 left. So,
Oh, I do.
yeah,
I
you
thought-
spent 1 to increase their AC, I think.
Yes, you did. So you should
Okay.
only have 3 left.
Okay, well then I will just pump the remaining 3 into that attack.
All right.
So that's 7 damage.
7
times
damage.
50?
Times 50.
Or- wait, no, that one doesn't have 50.
That
That's
one,
32.
It has 32, yeah. So 7 times 32 is 224 divided by their hit points of 8, 28 casualties.
Fall upon the rock lickers, crush them beneath your heels.
and then we will have these two also. We'll have that one lay into melee and that one lay into him ranged. So the melee one going first here is 8. So
Well, it'll also be plus 2 for flanking,
Plus
so
2,
10.
So 10. Technically, even 8 would do damage with their AC of 11. So it
or
only does.
you know what? I technically didn't use my fairy fire
Yeah,
advantage.
you could use Fairy Fire tactics and reroll.
Yeah. So let's just do that. 13.
13
Plus 2, so
plus
that'll
2
be
is
15.
that will be 90% damage.
Okay.
So that is they have a damage of what's the
4.
Outrider's damage? 4. So
Let's see.
4 times 50, so 200.
200.
So 90% of 200, which is 180, I believe.
Yep. 23 casualties.
And
Lots
then
of damage.
ranged attacks on them too.
Mm-hmm. That still technically does damage, though.
Yeah,
so
that one
AC
does
11.
like 10%.
Yeah, it's AC of 11, so yeah, 10%,
And then finally arrows down this hallway.
which I believe would just be
20.
20
So-
damage.
That's like, what, 3 casualties?
Yeah, 20 divided by 8. Yeah, 3 casualties. All right.
Yeah, and then I was just saying down the hallway. 14.
15, that'll hit. That'll do 80%
80.
damage. Yep.
And then that's all my units.
Let's see. 80% of 200 is 160.
160, yeah.
Okay. So that's 20 casualties there. Yep, you crack the hard dwarven outer shell. Now it's just the soft meat in the middle.
We could probably have the mages pelt this guy.
Is there no other melee that could finish it off?
I mean, there's still the one Cope's controlling.
I would say have Cope try that one so I could do the nat 20 and dump hero points into against this guy.
I mean, I haven't heard from Cope,
absolutely
so.
not. Purple's charging the flank of this one.
Okay.
He's
movement-
got-
You don't have the movement for that. I had already moved you up 1, so that's where you would have been ending your movement.
Here's a false controller.
I just did it because you weren't moving, and I'm like,
Insurrection.
I wanted to move the ballistas up.
Insolence will have you both flogged for this.
Threaten me
which
with a
ones
good
do y'all
time.
want me to hit?
Probably the archers finish them off.
Yeah.
I just want to take time.
Is that
to
what you
point
wanted,
out-
Loki?
Yeah, so that way I could use the power hit against these guys.
Yeah,
I
I
just
launched the
wanted to take
ballistas at them
time
too.
to point out the flawless tactics of the Outriders.
Mhm.
Doing it like no one's ever done it before.
Coupled with the purple commander. He's going to add 4 to that.
Yeah, okay. So the Quarrelers have an AC of 13. So you would, if you added 4 to that,
60%.
you would add no, you would get 50%. They'd be
Okay.
dead even. So that's 100 drow. Your damage is
400, so 200 damage.
200 damage. All right. I'm pretty sure I'll just double check this. Yep. Purple Commander there finally gets taste of blood as they run down the last of the Quarrelers. Literally, it took 100 people to kill 14.
3
Right.
tries.
Now the mages are going to lay fire from both directions on this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to pump 2 hero points into this guy and do magic strike.
Okay.
And then the ballista's also firing upon them as well.
Okay. So let's see. That will be the first one, 80 damage against them, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, from the hero, from the one with the commander. So that's 80
Yeah, so
damage.
60 plus.
Altogether,
2
for all
hero
3
points.
attacks, it's going to be 290 damage. Because the ballista and then 2 mages.
Oh yeah, because the ballista got 100%. So
Yeah.
190 damage.
290.
Oh, 290, yeah. Divided by 8.
36 wounded? Or 37?
37, yeah.
Nice even number now.
Mm-hmm. Even 100. All right. Then I believe it's just the remaining Drow militia. Not Drow militia, the Drow soldiers.
Infantry.
Yeah, it's just the Drow soldiers and the ballista up top, I believe.
Mhm.
I fired on the archers.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, whoever's in control of those northern ones.
Double move, I guess, to here.
This one will use its reaction to face you, so you do not have flanking against it. Because flanking is about hitting the side that's not facing, not always pinning it between an enemy.
Although I think this one has flanking from like all sides.
Yeah, it's screwed no matter what it does. That's why I haven't rotated it.
So I'll just have both of those attack that one.
Mhm.
And they're both at advantage because terrified.
With a +2.
16 and 18. I think they're full damage on both of them.
They're both full damage. So the first one from the northern one is 400 damage.
And then 284. So total of 684 on them.
The first one got 50 damage. And then the second one, how much damage was that?
Wait, I now I got mixed up.
Okay. The first one had a unit of 100.
Okay, yeah. No,
Did 50 casualties to it. What did the 71?
284.
284. Okay. All right, and that one inflicted 37 casualties. So, yeah, there's only 13 of that militia left. I am nominating them for automatically broken. As not soldiers, as stout as dwarves are. That's a lot of hurt.
Yeah. Good news is it's their turn.
Mm-hmm. So I will give this one a little symbol. Yeah, there we go. That one's broken.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be one of those dwarves right about now.
So this one,
That poor shoemaker who's over the last 13.
Using the disengage to try to move to here. They're trying to get around the drow line, hoping they'll be ignored. The 2 militia will continue to engage the outriders in melee. So they are not flanking. So these will just be +1 attacks. I think the 15 will still do full damage, but the 9 I think whiffs entirely.
Let's see.
Outriders of 14.
So it'll do 60% damage.
Yep, 60% damage, but the 9 I think whiffs entirely.
Yeah.
So 60% damage. That is 130 times 2. So that's 260. And then divided by their health of 18. You take 14 casualties on that one Outrider unit that you're in, Michael. Just the sheer weight of dwarven bodies is dragging down your giant lizard mounts. And then finally...
Well, the brave Outrider general is there with his fearless tactics.
All right. And then finally, the last one will attack the Drow army to the north of it. That's directly engaged with 20. I believe that's 100% damage.
Indeed.
So 130 and 300 divided by 11. So that is 28 casualties as just a mob of dwarves who are determined not to die without a fight crash into the drow middle.
It's that goddamn middle every time.
So now I will need the outriders with the commander and the central ones to give me a morale check. Oh, and also this one over here can give a morale check to remove the wavering condition.
Yeah.
It's no longer adjacent to anyone. Success.
So I think that
success,
removes it.
and success all around. The drow soldiers can taste victory and are not going to start shitting themselves.
You that menial, bring me the victory wine.
That is one of my favorite
That group thinks
terminologies.
they're getting away.
That's one of my favorite terminologies from Warhammer 40k, by the way, is that like the factory workers are called menials. Wow.
So I'll try to finish off this one right away. Get it out of the way.
Yep. Advantage +2 because you're hitting their flank. 12. Their AC is 11.
So 50% damage, and they're still at max. So 200.
Yeah, they're super dead.
This one will just get to
your
here.
guys just open up with hand crossbows as they run past you and they go down.
To finish off this little area, the ballista will go as well. 18 against that one. 150 damage because I think it'll be max.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you prepare another volley.
8. That is 19 dead.
So other than the mages, most of these ones over here have gone. Like these
Purple
three here have gone.
charges.
Purple charges, of course.
Mhm.
That goddamn purple general again.
Did you get Taskill's damage up here?
Taskill. Oh, against that one. Yep, that'll do 100% damage. So
150 again.
150.
yep, so that's another 19 casualties as multiple ballista bolts fly into him. Because it's 10 ballisti per unit. So.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And every other turn, it's 20 bolts.
Yep. Drow have nice artillery. That's partially because I was when I was designing this encounter, I was playing the Dark Elves campaign in Warhammer Total War, and they have like the most accurate ballista. I snipe generals with it. I'm like, this is unfair.
Oh, yes. I was very tempted to call the menial Timothy, but
right.
+2 for
Yep,
a
'cause
12.
Yep, because you're hitting their flank. 12, so you'll do 60%
It'll be an
damage.
advantage too, won't it? Or no, they're not. They're not broken
No,
or anything.
they're not wavering yet. They take their first damage this round.
Gotcha.
So that's 400 at 60%, you said?
Yep.
So 240 in damage?
40. 20 divided by 8. 30 per. So that's 30 casualties. You're getting into the thick of it now.
So then I think if we wanted to finish off that corner, if Loki, you want to do something with the mage.
Yep, that's the plan. So squeeze here. 1, 2, 3.
The fun part about this is your guys' tactical shops talk is not out of character, considering each combat round is 3 minutes. So it's pretty reasonable that some communication could happen within the drow lines.
I think we'll go ahead and target this guy with both mages using the magic strike.
So
I think this one only has one more magic strike after this, but hopefully they won't need any more.
But both of them do.
Right.
But
So that's 120 damage total.
Yep.
I feel like the drow would use fairy-fired banners to communicate.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. So they lose another 15. They are well below 1/3 of their number.
I just think we changed the shade of our colorful neckties that we're wearing to identify ourselves by color.
And
All right.
Then
That's
we
what
have
I-
these soldiers up here, and then the outriders left.
Mm-hmm.
Signal flags are things.
Oh yeah, signal flags and horns were usually how they did it back in the day.
Do 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 do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I've been playing.
Yes, I will have the Outriders go.
Been playing
Alright.
Ghost of Tsushima all week, so I'm reminded that the little banners samurai would wear on their backs to say, "Hey, I'm on this side."
Mm-hmm.
Going to. Let's see. Okay, just going to attack this guy in the middle again. Pretty much going to repeat the turn.
This guy or
Yeah.
this guy? Okay.
The guy on top, right here that I attacked last time.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
No, this guy here.
Yeah, you'll get. Yep, I see that one now. So yeah, you'll get +2s all around for flanking and everything like that.
Okay.
So +5 to hit 3 times.
Mm-hmm. So so 2 full damage and 1's just a hard whiff.
Yeah, if we're going from top to bottom, it'll be the middle one that missed. So one of them will be max damage. The other one will be 4 times 18.
Yep.
Which will be 72 damage.
Okay,
So 272 damage, I believe.
272 damage divided by 8 is 34 casualties.
And then you still have this guy down the tunnel that can fire at the one here.
I'll do full pop. So I believe 50 times.
Wait, has he rolled for that one yet?
Oh no, he hasn't.
No,
Sorry,
Right here.
I saw the 17. I thought.
Well, full pop.
Yeah, it'll do full pop. Yeah.
200 is 50 times 4.
So 200. Yep. So it's 25. Very few of those suckers are left. 41.
Well, I guess that'd be a good time for this guy to come down and try to steal the glory.
Mm-hmm. You would get
Not
flanking.
from Purple Commander.
Now I just imagine a drow cobra command. Well,
Just
time to add a
battle
new
cry.
NPC into the campaign.
So I believe that's 60% damage.
Yep.
So 220.
So, yep. 20 is 28 casualties. Yeah, I'm gonna just write a whole new drow character called Purple Commander, and all the other drow are gonna be like, "Oh, you mean that asshole that lives in the Skull Island for some reason?"
And should I just roll for the other two then?
Yep.
Okay, so
I
I'll
don't know
just
what you're
roll.
talking about, Gombo. Later in this game, we're gonna fight a Power Ranger team of drow.
So this one is 60, so it's another 220.
Mhm.
And the other one is 70% of the damage, but let's see, 43 times.
So, in future battles, do you think I should get rid of the percentile damage thing?
What do you mean?
Well, like, rather than for every one that you over, you do an extra 10% damage. Instead, it's just if you meet or beat their AC, you do a fixed amount of damage.
It'd probably make it go faster, but
I'm gonna open. After
we can
the
workshop it.
Yeah, after the session, I'll open it up to the floor.
So 120 damage to this one as well.
Okay. Same one.
Might as well try to whittle away on the weakened ones.
Yep. There's only 19 of them left. They're very badly hurt.
And I believe that's everybody now, though.
Okay. So now for the morale checks. So, oh boy. So this one here, we'll be doing it at disadvantage because they lost over half their number in one round. With a -2 because there are 2 enemy units that are adjacent to them at their flank and that are not wavering. So amazingly, they're held. The 13 are holding together.
Disadvantage?
Oh, right, you're right. Disadvantage because they lost half the number. Nope, they're holding it together.
You're getting stronger. All 19 of them.
The shoemaker is now
Hey.
throwing shoes at the drow.
Minus
He's like, oh god, it's Clog.
Put on these pumps.
these 19 are wavering.
You didn't tell us you had Air Jordans.
Oh god, it has the Nike swoosh.
And then, oop, yep. The unsurprising, the large group is holding it together.
Mm-mm.
All right. So now it's their turn.
Oh,
Yeah, it's still their turn. They haven't taken their hits yet. So 2 militia will be targeting the Outriders because they're trying to force their way through. The first one here will be at disadvantage. So no damage at all because it's only 4. And the second one will 15, which I believe will do 60% damage. But there's only 13 of them. So that is 26 divided by 18.
so like
You lose 1 rider.
Shucks.
And then finally, the largest group will focus once again on the smaller drow contingent. And it's terribly. I'm not going to call for a morale roll on behalf of the general's riders because I feel like losing 1 wouldn't make them suddenly break themselves.
Purple
He was
charges.
the most popular guy in the group, though.
Of course, the purple charges.
That was
Charges. They're taking the glory from this battle.
That's Davy L. Everyone loved Davy L. 16 will do full damage. That there's 13 of them left. I'm fairly certain you killed them all.
Or 100 damage.
So I'll have the two on the right make attacks against the healthier one.
Purple Commander took out almost half of the forces.
So the top one will hit for full, which will do 104 damage, I believe, because there are 51 of them. 204.
104 to 8. 26 casualties.
And their AC was what?
Their AC is 11.
So this one will also do damage. It'll do 30% damage. So they'll do. Hold on. I hit 1, 2 little zeros. 120 damage.
120.
And 16 against them for
Another
however
15.
much.
The 16 will do maximum.
So 190 as well on top.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they're dead.
Or at least a good chunk of them.
24 die. Yeah, they're still not. They're still up, but a lot of them are dead.
Oh, good. We left them for the mages. Because I'm pretty sure they both have one more automatic hit.
Yep.
So that's another 160 damage onto them. Wait,
Okay.
120, sorry. Not 160.
120 divided by 8. 15. Nope, they're still standing.
Hell, is
So,
so ballast, huh?
And fire that.
That one does have advantage still.
Yep.
Mm.
Sorry, Michael.
We're almost done there, Michael. And
They're
then you
just
can,
finishing their barrage.
18, so 150.
Another 150.
And then the Outriders can go clean up.
That's another 19. They're very, very close to death. All right.
We have the Outriders and these 3 up here, but I think the Outrider can probably finish it.
Because one has
so
19.
the Outriders. The Outriders holding the line, steady as ever, seeing the Purple Commander coming in to try to steal all of their hard work.
Been out of formation the entire battle.
The Outrider General is going to come over here, block off the Purple Commander.
I love the petty bullshit. That's
Terrible form.
Come, walk up the other.
He can give himself. He's gonna already have advantage. Never mind.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah,
plus,
so
just +2s all around.
yeah. So
You guys know
this is going to be
Look how many drow are around these
Oh yeah.
40 dwarves.
You're not in Sparta
Okay.
anymore, boys.
so
It's
first
that
attack
point in Rome
is
or in Total War where there's just a single unit and you have your entire army just engulf them.
Yeah,
Well, that's
and
when I
you're
have
like,
Mad
why
Diplomacy
is it
cast
taking
spell?"
so long? I'm in the middle of the city. There are only 40 of them left.
So which
Those
one
are-
are you? Which one are
I think
you?
These
you're
are
trying
all
to-
the attacks against this one right here with 19.
I'm not even going to do the calculations. With those, all 3 of those hit, and all 3 of those do at least 60% damage. It's absolutely dead.
And then I think you have one more against this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see the math because I want to make sure purple gets to steal it.
Well, there's still 3 other ones to get to go at before you can go.
Oh, the north side.
Yeah, you
Can I
already went.
use hero points to go out of turn?
No.
Purple Commander is not the hero that he thinks he is.
I mean, he hasn't taken any casualties, so
No casualties, and he has dealt the death blow to 3 of the 7 up there.
Well, I mean, the Green Sergeant over here, hasn't taken any either.
Yeah, but he hasn't killed 3 out of 7 units. I mean,
No,
I've seen
no.
Purple Commander out there. He's getting some decals on his helmet.
Hey, at least I held the line like I was supposed to, not went out of order.
That was
Sometimes
15,
it calls for bravery.
that was 15 against the last group.
yeah, that'll hit, and that'll do 90% damage.
So 4 times 17.
So how much damage am I dividing by 8 here?
You said 90% damage?
90%, yeah.
So 61 damage.
8 casualties.
So here's the 3 drow that are still remaining. So one of them's going to do 400 damage. So I imagine it'll finish him off with the 2 of those.
400 divided by 8. Yeah, the 400. It's the 50 damage will kill him.
So the one without the general finishes the battle.
Few extra arbalist bolts land a little too
But
close
the
to the
important
purple
part-
commander.
Was the last named person to get a kill.
Man, you guys jumped into that drow role play fast.
Of course. Now we have our next characters. We have Purple Commander. We have
The Green Sergeant.
Purple Commander, the Green Sergeant, the Outrider Commander.
So basically what you're saying is we're going to play drow Power Rangers.
I was gonna say drow G.I. Joe. I was 100% certain that Purple Commander would have a nemesis that was just a dwarf named Joe.
Right.
Knowing your enemy is half the battle.
Yes, yes, red lasers and blue lasers.
Oh man, I love people who dub those old G.I. Joe PSAs.
Oh,
Pork
yeah.
chop,
Fire
pork chop
one.
sandwiches.
Pork chops
And then-
sandwiches.
I love the fire one where it's just the guy wearing the mask breaks up the window and he's just muffled like, get the fuck out! What are you doing?"
No, I think the dwarf version would be G.I. Jordan.
Yeah. So,
Only Nolgrim experienced that.
yep, only Nolgrim experience. As
Oh,
seeing it from
2
the
hours
dwarf,
of us
he was seeing it from the
playing
dwarf
in 2
perspective.
hours.
To be
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
The rest of us are like, why is he
Hey,
just standing there?
You
He's
okay?
zoned- he zoned out for like 4 minutes, just touching the medallion before he snaps back to his senses.
You just left him behind, or just toss him in the wagon as he's just catatonic.
This happens occasionally. I'll get his legs. You guys get his torso.
All right. Lower him in. That'll do.
Shit, that was such a flashback that we're all the way back in the fungal jungle.
You get to scroll over. Yeah.
Be careful when he wakes up. You don't usually win those flashbacks.
So yeah, you just witnessed the massacre that happened at the very spot you're standing on. Probably for frame of reference, the part where the place where Nolgrim is picking up the amulet is the exact spot where that final group of militia perished. Just completely surrounded by drow.
Nolgrim lad, you alright?
He'd pretty much pale, just seen the dread of basically what was a genocide of his people. Mm-hmm. And do you have a pint or something? I could really use a drink.
Pretty sure Fergis has squirreled away some of that drow shit.
What about some of that?
I think he could use a hit from that horn we've got.
Yes.
Hey.
So he'd take a long...
Boy, you look like your girlfriend just met your wife.
He'd take a very long pull from it, wipe off his beard and just kind of go over, the vision he had and how, the refugees were, or I'll just go and do it in character. We are standing on the ashes of the refugees from Dammerhall from years ago. The Drow found him in this corner and attacked from 3 sides and annihilated them to the man. Hundreds of them snuffed out in short order, no mercy. He would pour a little bit of the ale on the ground.
In typical Fergus fashion, she's like, with that many bodies, where did they get the kindling?
I think the bodies were the kindling. A lot of that was magical fire that I was seeing.
Hey.
Let's get up some of these ashes and take our people home.
Rather doubt it.
I'm not going to carry that shit.
A unique story in the wake of the fall of Dammerhall.
Out of character, well, I imagine they had banners of some kind, right?
Yeah.
Did they have any for particular houses, or were they calling out a particular matron that was in the leadership?
You were thinking about that, and you get the sudden urge to check your book of grudges.
All right.
Did you see anyone named Thomas?
The drow, they kept yelling about some purple general. I didn't understand. They all looked purple to me.
Wait, not the purple commander.
Yeah, the purple.
I thought he was just a legend.
He's been leaving thousands of paper bags filled with dog shit in front of dwarven fortresses for hundreds of years.
But now we know. And knowing's half the battle.
I just figured he was called the Purple Commander because every now and then during fights he would flash his junk and put people off balance.
I will, in time, be writing something for the Purple Commander, but not... I need some time to think about that. But you should see in your book of grudges there, Loki.
Yep, I see it. So, it looks like we have more debt that we need to get paid.
You would also know that the slaughter that took place was known as the Battle of Horath's Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
The last entry there.
I would, we've got a whole bunch of alchemical supplies and tools, so I would get a bottle and scoop up some ashes.
Don't you go snorting that.
He's not usually sentimental,
I once knew a guy that was really into a gal that was really into snorting ashes. It was really peculiar.
No, I don't get down with that. I limit myself to a good brew, but for some reason, something tells me these people need to be returned home.
Yeah, you would all know that traditional dwarven burial tradition is to dip them lower the corpse into lava, or to do a proper funeral pyre type thing if you can't do anything else in the field. Otherwise, they can't go to the Hall of Our Fathers, which is the dwarven afterlife. All these dwarves here that died definitely did not have that happen. So
I mean, clearly they were cremated, so what's the problem?
there's a ritualistic component as well.
No, I'm talking Fergis
Yeah,
character.
I know. So there's either about 600 dwarven ghosts in this vicinity, or they're stuck in some other afterlife.
Man,
But
they must be disappointed in the current heir to the throne. Couldn't give two shits about him.
Show some respect, boy.
Yeah.
You're standing on the ashes of your ancestors.
Well, I mean, they can't be my ancestors if they're dead, because that means
Fergus
they
says
insire
clearly
me.
Fergus says clearly they were cremated.
As I see it, we have two choices. We can either continue on and come back once we've found Dammerhall, or we can spend a good deal of time here performing what rites we can for the past.
I mean, can't we just have Taskill in the back of the wagon? We just go over it slowly, and he just waves his hand and blesses the area or something?
Ivy speaks up. Like, I'm not an authority, but even I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Yeah, I'm just trying to rile him up.
For this many and this large of an area, it would take some time.
Drive-by blessing.
Man, that's the ultimate YouTube prank. You just pull up a car next to someone walking out of the street, you roll down the window, you sprinkle water on them, you're like, "You're Catholic," and you drive away.
Here, Fergus. Let me put this in a way maybe you'll understand it. Okay? You know when you're cooking something, you know how you can't just cook it twice as hot for half as long? That's nothing what this is like.
Boy,
to be
don't
fair,
you
we
know
don't-
our
we ha-
rights? Don't you know the way our people need to be interned?
Not at all. I buried my father in the dirt, like in a graveyard and everything, so...
Taskill, tell him what needs to be done.
I mean, I know, but I figure you should tell him just in case.
Well, Task would start going into it. I figure it'd take at least a similar time span to the channel divinity abilities to just set up the rites and rituals.
You also know it's almost more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Like symbolic effort at this point, because this slaughter happened 300 years ago. You know, whatever has happened to their immortal souls, it's already happened.
I've got a bottle of them here. I don't know that we have all the time to spend.
I think at this point, the best treatment for their souls is to avenge their deaths by clearing out the debt that they are owed. And he would kind of pat his the book of grudges that's right hand hip and say, "I've got names, I've got the receipts. We shall collect."
I liked your first proposal there, Taskill. Get where we're getting and then come back here and take care of what you need to. I mean, they're dead and it's been 300 years. What's another year gonna matter to them?
The rate
Still,
we're going is going to be another 5 years down here.
Still that night, wherever we camp, Taskill's probably going to spend the night in prayer and meditation instead of sleeping. So
Don't
Let
worry,
me
Fergus. We have
for
at
the
least
next day.
300 years.
Yeah.
I feel
Definitely.
exhausted already.
Definitely after hearing the story of this place, it takes on a more ominous and almost haunted quality to all of you. Even those of you like Fergus who aren't putting a lot of stock in that, you still can't help but kind of feel it now. Because I mean, this is a fantasy world. Ghosts are 100%.
Yeah, I was going to say, he would still be aware that,
Yeah.
ghosts are a thing and be like, Despite all my lip, I'm probably not going to go kick up the dirt or something.
I'm gonna take a piss real quick.
I'm going to write my name in it.
He just comes back, hand in between his legs after you hear a blood curdling scream. What was that? Took a piss, ghost came out of the ground, ripped off my dick.
I'm going home now.
Heirs.
He glances. Nolgrim glances at the Book of Grudges, sees the entry, pissed on the remains, He's crossed out, dick ripped off. Yep, all right here in the ledger.
Gonna need a greater restoration for that one. So yeah,
There goes the heir.
Wait, that works?
Thrum, for you, I think we might need a wish spell.
So you guys spend the rest of the evening at this place with Taskill doing his meditation and prayers. On the next day, you all pack up your stuff again. I assume you keep pressing north.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, Thrum would just to not keep harping on it, but at the beginning of the day, middle of the day, end of the day, as we're traveling, he'd continue to reach out and see if he detects any enemies.
Yep. Still so far nothing.
Okay.
You reach a portion here where, while the cavern is still very wide, it switches back and forth a lot, which takes more time. While you're going down a slope, kind of having to hold the cart with your hands, the entire cavern begins shaking again, violently. Or eventually calming down.
I never get the feeling we're heading into the wrong area. Where's that map?
I feel like that since we went into the first entrance to this goddamn Underdark. You remember when we still saw the sun? We were at the entrance to the cave, and I said, I'm never going to see the sun again, am I? I'm starting to believe it.
That drop was bad enough,
hey, look.
but if this keeps up, there won't be a path for the kinsfolk to follow.
Wait, aren't we trying to get there to open up the big door?
Yeah, we're coming into the basement, but the front door's still there, just no bridge. We'll have to build the bridge back.
Yeah, no bridge, and I don't think there's any way to open the door from that side.
I mean, it would be a rather poor fortress if there was an open the door lever on the outside.
Yeah.
No
It says
Disney.
speak
Do
for
not
and
pull.
enter, but I don't get it.
Hey, look, Nolgrim had the vision of dwarves leaving Dammerhall going the way we're heading. So that means we're going the right way, right?
Aye.
Let's keep on going forward.
Onwards to our doom.
And if everything goes wrong, we can circle around to the Lake of Salt and talk about it.
Oh, man.
Out of character, do we have any hint of which way to go, deeper to the underworld or through the Great Rift?
The only knowledge that you had is that Nolgrim discovered in a gnomish geological journal from the observatory that one of the gnome explorers a few hundred years ago was down here and noted that they saw an abandoned dwarven mine in an area called the Earth's Wound, which is also the Great Rift on your map. So presumably there's a dwarven mine down here somewhere. That may provide a lead.
Sounds like they may have dug too deep.
All right.
It might be a good time for a song. And so Thrum starts singing a little ditty. Everyone's feeling sour.
All right. Next day, you're still following the wide cavern. You get another violent shaking of the earth this day.
You know, Thrum, your singing was nice and all, but I don't think you're allowed to use those words for elves anymore.
Well, you young people and your new ways, folks.
No, your words were too kind. We've got
Dwarven
much better
perfect.
slurs now. So you get another 2 tremors when you're walking this day down these tunnels.
When these
It's
tremors
very
happen, does it look like there's any sort of damage being done to the walls or anything like that, or are the
Just-
cave structures pretty
so
sturdy?
far. It seems fine. You're getting lots of little pebbles and stuff and dust falling down from above. But so far, it doesn't look like you're about to be buried.
Mhm.
Thrum, your back of your neck is itching for some reason. Everyone else can give me a perception test.
All right, is that including the Steel Defender?
No.
Okay.
186 days since I bathed. I probably know what that is. Probably
By the way, like while everyone's rolling, I would have mentioned it before, but I kind of forgot. Fergis would be checking in on Ivy and Miku periodically to make sure they're all good.
Yeah, they're still good for now. Miku's as stoic as ever. Ivy's a little disconcerted with the tremors, but she's trying to stay in high spirits. She's less affected by the knowledge of that slaughter than some of your other companions were.
Mm-hmm. Miku's
Yeah.
just like, what a waste of nutrients.
Well, death is a part of the cycle of life. He can appreciate your guys' sorrow, but it's also not the same thing. It's an intellectual understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Taskill, you feel a very, very slight breeze coming from the direction you're going. As for Thrum, during one of the tremors, your back of your neck itches, and you just reflectively scratch it, and you feel hard scraping of stone on your fingernails. And when you pull it back, there's small little shavings of stone, like from the back of your neck, like you partially stone formed somewhere. But when you check again, it's gone.
That's okay. I'm sure that's just the dry air.
He's got rock dandruff.
Light headwind coming.
Oh man, all I can think is that SNL skit. No, you would know if you have my kind of herpes. But yeah, Taskill said his thing.
Light headwind.
Yeah.
Perception check?
If there is fire living up ahead, then presumably the heat is causing some air movement.
Thrum is distracted.
We gotta keep on moving or what? We just here to dance, ladies?
All right, you're gonna press forward another day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, adjust the
Wait, I
tracker.
think maybe we should explore this dancing option a little bit further.
I have 2 left feet.
We got to practice for the big competition.
I'm always down for a good ditty.
We're going to regionals.
We got to beat those bastards from Loth High.
Oh crap! It's gonna be a dwarf elf dance off.
That just bears into me an alternate universe where all our characters are in high school, and we're like the team that
greasers.
hasn't won in like 40 years, and then there's like the big fancy drow high school that's like the privately funded one.
Yeah, like the rich
That'd
kids
be really
with
weird,
the red leather
considering
jackets.
All of our characters are related and like the children of each other and like cousins and
We're from
uncles.
the Alabama high school.
You know what's funny to think about is that if you took all of our RPG characters and put them in a high school setting, Grix's character would be pretty much the same. You know, the satanic school shooter.
I was also going to say Nesarima is that mom that lets all the kids throw parties at her house, like Stifler's mom.
All right. the cavern slopes down some and then begins opening up as you are feeling the air grow much, much warmer until you eventually come out on a part that is higher and overlooking what you can unmistakably see is the Great Rift or the Earth's Wound. It is a long, long cavern that slowly wedges out from your position. In front of you is miles upon miles of what looks like geysers and bubbling sulfur pots. But beyond that, you see a lush green jungle. And at first you wonder why you're able to see this far. But then you realize because the cavern goes high up and narrows, there is a thin slit at the top that is cracked open, revealing noon sunlight streaming in. And that noon sunlight up at the top of the cavern goes downward until it meets your horizon point, meaning that you think there might be an exit on the far side that is connected to the outside world. You barely have time to register all of this before the ground begins violently buckling underneath you. Cracks are forming, and the tunnel entrance above you starts having larger rocks falling down. Everyone give me a dexterity saving throw.
I wish we had just done the dancing.
I don't care. I see the sun. Someone want to roll for Miku?
Yep. Miku and I.
That 17 is for Ivy, by the way.
Okay.
Thrum is about to get crushed under a bunch of rocks.
Do I need to roll the Steel Defenders?
I'll just say the Steel Defender's fine. We don't need to overclutter it up. Okay, so let's see here.
Man, some low rolls all around.
Yeah.
I mean, we walked into some bright light out of nowhere and stood in an earthquake, so.
Ivy jumps clear. No problem. Thrum gets all the way hit by a rock and proceeds to be buried underneath the rubble.
Son of a bitch.
Taskill is along with him. Let's see. Fergis, you just barely managed to jump clear, but you still get hit by some of the rubble, so you take 21 bludgeoning damage.
Jesus. Some.
It's Rock's fall. Not everyone is dying.
Still, that's like half my health.
Taskill, you fully get hit by it. You are at 0 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Freya, let's see what your situation is.
I'm good, man. I dodged
28 bludgeoning damage to you.
No, look at this. If you take the 10, okay.
If you're still up, if you're still conscious, then you're like half buried, like where Fergus and Ivy can see you, and then Nolgrim was also fully taken under and is at 0 hit points.
Jesus, there goes the party.
Yep.
Well, the good news is once you're under the rocks, you can't be hit by rocks.
I'm at 9 hit points.
Yeah, so you're like your legs are like pinned. So in a moment, as the dust settles, Fergus, Ivy, and I guess Miku could try to help you.
Yeah, I just like turn around, I see all the rubble, and the dust clears. Like, son of a bitch, I can't take 1 second to enjoy the goddamn sun.
Do we have to do death saving throws?
In a second.
Okay.
I'm going to start immediately trying to undig Freya first, since she's only partially covered.
Mm-hmm.
And then start working my way down.
Okay. Thrum. When the first rock hits you, you black out. You see only blackness for a while until a thin crack of red light enters your view. You see a cave surrounded by a field of geysers, and your vision blurs again. You see water and fire meeting each other in hot steam as the earth around it cracks open. You see a rift, a kind of a crevice cracked in the ground that has fire, water, wind, all mixing together. And you empathically understand pain, damage, something that should not be. When you regain consciousness, you have fully reflexively turned into your big form. You are pushing the stones out of your way, and you do see an unconscious Taskill near you. Taskill, give me and Nolgrim, give me death saving throws.
That's just con, right? No, that's a D20.
It's
just
a flat D20.
That's right.
Yep. Okay, one failure for Nolgrim. All right. So Taskill's got one stable. Thrum, what are you going to do?
He's going to move rocks away from above them and kind of put his body over the top of them as he continues to, now with using his back and his legs, push his way up instinctively, but holding them underneath his chest.
What is Thrum's emotional state right now? Is he angry? Is he like tranquil in his determination to save his family?
No, it would be hot anger.
Mhm.
All of the things you described, the geyser, the steam, the water, and the fire all meeting, it would feel like a steam bath to him, just pouring over his skin as his skin gets hotter and hotter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's this large rock pinning Taskill to the ground, and you place one of your enlarged rocky hands on it, trying to move it, and you have leverage, but it's just such dense rock, and you're just so frustrated as you're pushing up against this thing that it takes you a few moments to realize that the area where your hand is touching it, the handprint is beginning to make the rock glow red. Meanwhile, on the outside, Fergis, why don't you give a athletics check at advantage to haul the conscious Freya out? Yep, that'll do it. She's just like partially buried. She's got the very fringes of it.
Yeah. Fergus, despite my way of rolling, which isn't very good, would actually be pretty concerned and like panicked at this moment.
Yeah.
So he is like, after he gets her out, goes back and starts trying to get more debris out, starting with smaller rocks and just trying to clear the way.
Mm-hmm.
Not a very strong man, but
yeah. Along with Ivy Miku's help, you're able to clear some rocks and you're able to get Freya out. Freya, you feel beat up, but you're alive. You're conscious. You'll have some nasty bruises for the next couple days, but otherwise you'll be okay. Fergus, as you were removing the rocks, and Freya, I think you probably will have noticed this near your feet, you noticed that the pile of rocks, the tunnels completely collapsed, and you're trapped on the side leading back to these tunnels rather than into the rift. They're getting warmer. You start to feel heat emanating off of them, and a couple smaller rocks kind of fall off the pile, and you swear you see little spouts of steam shoot out.
Reflectively, probably just back up because thinking there's something out there about to explode.
Mm-hmm. Nolgrim and Taskill, give me one more death saving throw.
Come on, no nat one.
I was gonna say, don't get a nat one.
Mm-hmm. Taskill is almost stable. All right, Nolgrim, you have another stable. Thrum, do you take pause when you notice this change, or do you just continue focusing on your motions and pushing through?
No, when he notices the rock start to turn red under his hand, instead of pushing, he's going to try and squeeze it and focus on the heat.
Mm-hmm.
See if he can't crush it.
Yeah, your you focus on that heat, and your vision turns red. You're not even aware that you're not sweating right now. You're not even aware that the little gaps in your rocky skin are beginning to shoot little gouts of steam.
My palms are sweating.
Yeah, around your joints.
Knees weak.
Give me an athletics test at an advantage.
Come on, Mom Spaghetti.
Nice. You focus on squeezing it. I'll just say it like this. How do you get Nolgrim and Taskill out of the rock pile and back with the rest of the group?
When the one that's over Taskill, he squeezes it as hard as he can. It's much larger than his hand, but his hand's pretty big. When it shatters, he shifts his knee into that empty space before it can collapse on Taskill, bringing Nolgrim with him, and then doing a motion, all legs, pushing himself up, just his back carrying the brunt of the rocks on top of him, and just keep pushing himself up with those two underneath him, and until he comes out.
Yeah. You're pushing up on it, and you don't see it because you're looking down purely in focus, but the rocks where your back touches are also heating up. Freya, Fergis, what you see from the pile of rock is you see it rumbling and shifting, and there's just a few spots that start just turning red as the rocks heat up. And they just continue to spread until it's like this entire large patch, which you find out in a second is the size of Thrum, is just one giant molten patch that seems to pulsate and begin popping and splurting as just gouts of steam shoot out. And you see the rocky form of Thrum step out, molten rock dripping off of him. But he's different than when you've seen him do the stone form before. The stone is no longer gray. It is black, like lava rock. His eyes glow with red light that have cracks out around his temples. And all the seams of his joints have glowing red that are emitting steam with a hissing sound. Underneath his arms, he's carrying Nolgrim and Taskill. As he takes a step forward, his feet seek into the rocky floor of the cavern, probably at least an inch or two, as the ground around him is liquidized by the heat his body is radiating. You take 3 steps out from that rocky pile, the earth behind you rapidly cooling to form a darn near impenetrable rocky barrier separating you from the earth's wound. When all of a sudden it just hits you like a log, Thrum. As Fergis and Freya, you just see all like the heat and the light in Thrum just go out all at once. He just becomes a completely dark figure of stone, and he tumbles forward and shatters into a bunch of rocky pieces. And you see an unconscious Nolgrim and Taskill, and in the middle of the rocky pile is a now normal dwarf form, but very exhausted. I believe, let me look at my exhaustion chart. You have 5 levels of exhaustion, Thrum.
Oh shit, that's like near death, isn't it?
Yep, near death.
Jesus.
The 6th level of exhaustion is death, but you are conscious.
Farewell and adieu to your fair dwarven ladies.
No, you're not even that conscious.
Yeah, you are technically conscious, but your speed is 0. You have disadvantage on everything. You are fully prone. You can't get up.
Yep, he's just going to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No more death saving throws?
Well, that depends if Freya and Fergus rush to stabilize you guys.
No, just let him bleed out. No, I can go.
Yep, so any amount of healing or successful medicine check can stabilize them.
Got no healing, so I'll try a medicine check.
I got no medicine check, so I'm gonna try the healing.
Oh, good,
Okay.
because my medicine sucked. I think I made it worse.
Nope, you didn't make it worse because it's not a natural 1. But yeah, you didn't fix it.
Look, just let me mend them, okay? Let me use a welder to
If you have Cure Light Wounds, you can expend 2 spell slots and you can get them up and conscious automatically.
Yeah.
Just roll for that. Well, how much they get healed by.
The Cure Light Wounds macro doesn't seem to want to work. Did it actually roll anything?
Did you click the spell or did you click the one that has it on your like weapons inventory area? Because it has one in the core page where you would roll for attacks and stuff, but then they have the spell one which doesn't actually automatically roll.
What's your spellcasting modifier? We can just do this the old-fashioned way while we're figuring.
Intelligence, which is 4.
Okay, so whoop, 6 hit points, and 6 hit points for both.
Always picking up the slack.
So as you cast the spells, Ivy is the first to break the silence and says, "So what was that?"
All my hopes crushed in one fell swoop.
No, I get the rocks falling thing, but like she gestures towards Thrum. That! He's turned into a big rock guy before, but not like that.
I mean, honestly, nothing about this group surprises me. There's him. He can turn into a giant rock man who apparently can go on fire now. We have someone who talks to gods, I guess. Giant mountain. We have this person who can somehow make magic runes that can explode and or has a talking metal can right there. We have this person who has a book that has every grudge written against any dwarf ever. And then there's me. I shoot arrows. What part of any of our group is normal? Also, no offense to him, we have a standing tall, talking, walking mushroom.
Okay, yeah, but where I'm from, he's normal. And then releases Spores Miku. This is true.
It is known.
Yeah. By the standards of the Zan, I am average in appearance.
Well, I grew up around humans, which I keep forgetting neither of you know what they are, so never mind, I'll shut up.
Is that the green one?
No, they're like us, but taller, frailer, and think of halfway between us and elves, but our skin tone.
So a species that inexplicably has the worst of all traits?
Wait, I have an idea. You know that crazy old wizard we saw?
Yes.
Think of like him, but less crazy and most of the time less facial hair.
Oh man, you want to go back there?
Yes, I really, really do.
I'm still saving his special summoning power for a rainy day.
Yep.
I'm 90% sure it's not going to do anything, but...
You could have used it here. Yep, call his name 3 times and he shall appear to aid you in your hour of need.
At least that's what he said.
Yep.
But he may turn you into a frog. Do we remember his name?
I reflexively croak.
It's Caliburb is his name.
I have him written down. We never did give him that jade mushroom he was looking for.
Nope. He would have given you stuff for it too.
It's okay. We stole a bag from him.
You could always go back.
Level 20 characters. We finally completed this side quest.
Trying to turn me into a frog now, motherfucker.
No, guys, no, when
Here's
we
a
go
note,
back
a
to
potion of beating nature.
Calibur's place at level 20, it's not going to be friendly. We're going to be out for blood now that we can finally take him on.
So, Thrum, you're on your back. You're spread eagle. You're surrounded by rocks. You're really, really tired.
Probably just gonna lay there and go to sleep. What does exhaustion at that level do?
Is our cart under the rubble too now?
No, it was. I imagine when you guys saw the light, you stepped forward to examine it. So the cart bugs are safe.
Looking at the rubble, does it look like something we can go through over time, or are we gonna have to turn around and go the way we didn't plan on originally?
You'll probably looks like it was a pretty thorough cave-in the first time, but then after Thrum burst out of it, it melted, and now it's cooled down to be an almost sheer slate of rock.
So definitely not going through it.
Mm-hmm.
So he has disadvantage. His speed is halved. Disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws. Hit point maximum halved. Speed reduced to 0. He's probably going to look up and say, water?
I throw the water skin at him.
I'm glad you weren't under there.
Thrum, make a athletics check at disadvantage to try to reach for the water skin.
Oh, I threw it at his face. It's right on top of him.
Yeah, but see if he can move his arm.
See if it hits me in the...
Man, at this rate, I won't be surprised if Fergus just decides to kill us.
Yeah, you limply managed to get the water skin off your chest and uncork it. It's that anime thing where after like a really big fight, they're just completely limp and useless.
Yeah, I mean, he literally has speed 0 and half health, so... He ain't going nowhere.
When you have speed 0 and the prone condition, it is physically impossible for you to stand up.
So he pours some water on his face because he still feels really flushed and hot, and wipe it off, and then try and drink a little and probably pass out.
Meanwhile, Fergus comes back with his fancy bottle of wine and starts uncorking it and giving some to everybody. He's like, I hate this whole situation. I think we all deserve a drink. Also, he's unconscious, so I'll just not give him any.
I'm not unconscious. Just really
okay, good. Okay, good. Just open your mouth, and he just starts pouring.
I like to think he's trying to talk, but all it is just mumbling.
Yeah,
Nonsense.
he just said I'm not unconscious, but what you heard was...
Oh, good. You're awake enough to drink. I just open his mouth and pour some in. He's like, so judging by this, and he looks at the cave. I don't think we're getting through this. Who's ready to go through the fucking way that shall not be named? Yeah, that sounds about right.
We could try to dig.
Yeah, let's let people recover some. Maybe back away from the cave-in.
Ivy says maybe Thrum can go all molten again and just burrow through the rock. Who knows?
Give me a second.
We got at least one pick. I can make another.
Didn't we hear didn't one of us talk about how trying to dig in the Underdark can have some issues arise, especially when it's like any kind of motion to where it's fused because of the melting? So we could just cause another cave-in that could theoretically be worse. I don't know. I'm not a miner, so I have no idea.
If we could even just get a glimpse through, I could get us through. But I don't know how much rock and material is between us and that.
We were so close to sunlight. I was so happy. Just to be dashed away.
Miku speaks up and says light.
Yeah, lots of light.
No, there's a light coming down the tunnel right there. And he points, and there's light coming from the tunnel direction that you guys came.
Joy. I just pull out my bow and head backwards a little bit because I don't think most of us are in fighting condition.
Yeah. It's
actually before anything happens. For good measure, I'm going to second wind real quick.
Of course,
because I can do that as a bonus action.
Yeah.
What's everyone else? Health.
What's everyone else doing?
Nolgrim's going to hit himself with a Armor of Agathis just to give him a little bit more buffer.
Mhm.
Yep, and I'm gonna head forward.
I assume Thrum just stays on the ground and hope it all turns out well.
Yeah, he can't move. So he's just going to lay there and listen. He's not going to pray.
Taskill, what are you doing?
Stand up, get the shield and axe out, and try and look like I wasn't just bludgeoned by several tons of earth.
I was gonna say maybe pump some heals into some people, yourself preferably.
Only got about one round here.
That's enough for a round of healing, at least for himself.
I would take out the Gloom Stalker, have the Steel Defender take point, and get ready to use Fairy Fire on whatever comes through.
Like I have my bow at the ready in case I need to fire, but I'm not like aiming it or anything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's coming ahead, but prepared for the worst. I am also though not calling out first. So if something's coming forward there, it's up to them to call out.
Yeah. So now that you all do your best to stand up, except for Thrum, you see that the light coming around is the flickery orangey yellow of torchlight. And you hear multiple padding footsteps echoing in the cavern. Sounds of bare feet on stone. And rounding the bend to where you are, their torchlight not quite reaching you before your dark vision sees them, is you see a band of about 13 very raggedly dressed, partially malnourished, kind of beaten-looking humans, with one in front carrying a torch and a long sword. They have no armor, only rags, and a couple of them are carrying burlap sacks on their back.
I kind of motion before they get too close to Ivy and Miku, like, hey, look, humans. And I call out in common, like, ho there, just recently had a cave-in. Announce yourselves.
They take the one in the front takes a step forward. You appear in the light before him, and he like instinctively like points his sword towards you, but then like hesitates for a moment.
Yeah, I still have my bow
yeah.
looking downward. It's not like pointed at him or anything.
He's like, dwarves? You're surface dwarves, right?
I mean, we're not the deep, dark, evil dwarves, if that's what you're asking. I'm from the surface. I'm from Corsiconia. Kind of like point. This is my family, and then he points to Miku and Ivy. These are my friends. We were just trying to travel through here, and we just met with this cave-in, blocked our path forward.
You're from Corsiconia.
Yeah, born and raised, mostly.
Lowers the sword. Praise the lady. Some others from homeland. We did not think that we'd see any friendly faces down here. And he like sags for a moment. I am Tomas Melro, and these are my fellow band of escapee refugees. Drow sacked our village, took us as slaves. We're what remains. I got lucky, managed to escape, and got the rest. I don't think there's any more of those damnable dark elves following us, but you say the way here is collapsed?
I'm afraid so. We know of another route around, but it requires much backtracking and going through a pathway that is supposed to drive people mad. So Good news. Pull up a seat and maybe have something to eat. I think we have somebody who can magic us up some meals.
Yeah, you kind of have like a ebb and flow of the reaction of the crowd because it looks like the guy in front is the only one that actually knows how to use a sword. All the other people are just like peasants.
Mhm.
So first you say, no, this way is collapsed. Just despair hits them like a bombshell. But there's no other around. Hope. But it tends to drive people insane. Despair. But we have food. Middle ground.
That's what I'm all about, the middle ground.
Now that Fergis has successfully just, what's the proper term, negging these group of people? Like constantly raising and lowering their expectations. Tomas in the front says, any hospitality you offer would be greatly appreciated. I know a little Elvish, and I heard them speaking about a way to the surface through this direction. But it seems that hope is gone.
Yeah, we plan on resting and at least testing the cave in and see if we might be able to get through, but more than likely we're going to have to turn around and, I mean, strength in numbers, right? I have a spare suit of armor if you would like it. It looks like, you need to get a little bit more fighting fit.
If you would be willing to guide us through that other exit, we would be very much in your debt. The other ragged refugees, roughly an equal number of male and female, begin.
How many refugees total?
Including Tomas, who's leading them, 13.
13? And look at the rest. Like, our food supplies might wind up running thin. Do you have any of your own to kind of spread it out?
He gestures to the bags. We have maybe 18 days left.
Well, now that's a start. I think we should be able to at least make most of the way, and with the rest of us. What do you all say? Or I kind of look back at the party. I imagine we're not going anywhere tonight.
I'll not leave them to their fate, but I'd also prefer to try to break through this new wall.
Either way, we're going to need some muscle for that, and our muscle's a little indisposed after turning into molten lava. By the way, I say this only for Tomas to be able to hear, none of the rest of the refugees.
Yep.
So just to give some extra confusion to him.
Yeah, so you're speaking in Dwarven?
Yeah.
Because Ivy understands Dwarven, so.
But yeah, as a gesture of good faith, I did have a spare mithril shirt in my inventory. So I would give that to Tomas as a show of good faith, because I'm wearing my leather again. It's not the best fit. It was originally meant for drow and then modeled for a dwarf, but seems better than just bare chested.
That's a little tight on him, but thankfully he is malnourished. So let's see. Chain shirts, what's their AC that they give?
It's like 2 plus dex, I think.
Okay. Just modifying this sheet real quick. Okay.
So Nolgrim's got a war pick.
I
Do we have any other?
I think I also had a mining pick. Yeah, I got a miner's pick as well.
Okay, so I can make a third for us.
I got a shovel.
I have a crowbar, but I doubt that'll be helpful here. Yeah, I have a crowbar, I have a hammer.
Thrum's stuff is in the cart. He had 2 hammers, crowbar.
So I'll go ahead and burn another casting of create food and water, and assume I will have no 3rd level spells for the next few days.
Actually, do you think Shutter will do anything to help break up some of the larger boulders that are in the way?
I feel like that's a dangerous game to be playing.
I agree, but if we could try to position it Does it look like I'd be able to position where the bulk of the damage will be away from structural wall?
It's kind of difficult to tell considering it's like a 15-foot hole
Mm.
that you guys were going to go through, and almost all of it is rapidly cooled, smooth stone. Now,
Now, if we dig at an upward angle, that should hopefully minimize the risk of cave-in and get us through faster. Though it might be harder for these folk to follow us in their condition.
I imagine tomorrow, if we try it for a couple hours and we can clearly tell there's no headway being made, we might at least be able to get a sense of how long it would take versus if we'd be able to or not.
and you said you conjured food, right?
Yeah,
Taskill?
yeah.
You work the miracle and the food appears, but all the humans refuse to eat it. You can roll me a history. Fergus already knows the answer to this, but I'll explain if you just want to roll the history.
Yeah, if I remember right, Corsicanians don't like magic.
Not super fond of it, no. So since you remember,
In character.
yeah,
In character. What would you say is history?
history, pretty easy.
Let's
Yep.
see what.
You remember that they're not super fond of Mamek. It's not like they're turning hostile or anything like that, but there is a few murmurings amongst some of them about talk of witchcraft or things like that.
Did you say taco witchcraft?
Talk of witchcraft.
Fear
they're not-
Witchcraft.
They're not hostile or fearful or anything like that, and any sort of larger murmurings Tomas quickly is able to smooth over, but they're not going to ingest anything conjured by magic. They defer to their own somewhat measly and moldy food stores.
As you will.
I would kind of announce. I do encourage you to at least give it a thought. I know that, trusting of magic doesn't come easy, but the alternative of having to subsist on rations that could end far sooner than otherwise, it's worth a thought.
Though this be a blessing from Father Mountain, not mere sorcery. But if it is their way, we have plenty to spare and can stretch with our own.
One of the village women speaks up and says, "If the lady had wanted us to have food, then she would have provided it."
Maybe she provided it to you by bringing you to us.
I've had this real life conversation with people.
Yeah.
I've
had similar things.
I know.
There's the joke that ends with, I sent 2 boats and a helicopter, what'd you want?
Mhm. Yeah, my personal favorite is you run into the people that are like that in that story, except after the helicopter, heaven opens up and a stairway of light descends with a chorus of angels, and God's like, "All right, I'm here to save you," and they're like, "No, do something about it." I've met those people too. It's very annoying. So yeah, you're gonna settle in for the night then.
I mean, like I said, move a little bit away from the cave-in,
Mhm.
but settle up and I don't know, drag Thrum by the ankles.
Oh, baby, be sweet.
Yeah, after a long rest, you'll remove all those levels of exhaustion, Thrum.
Is there still cave-in activity, like rumblings and stuff?
It's currently stable at the moment.
But yeah, since I could probably do it before we take the long rest, I would go and try to do my best investigation of the collapsed wall and see if there's feasible method of getting through it or not.
Sure.
At least in my knowledge.
Give me a investigation, and if you have stone cutting, add that in.
Yep, and I can add my warder's intuition, which gives me a D4 on investigations.
Uh-huh.
Wow, seems right for Fergus.
You take stock of the wall. You knock on it. It's very solid. You wager it's at least a couple. Yeah, it's rock. You wager it's at least a couple feet thick, if not farther. You didn't see the full extent of what fell down on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You're not as experienced a miner as Taskill is, but you'd be willing to bet it's going to be a rather long process because it's solid rock.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, of course, assuming that another quake doesn't knock down more.
Yeah. That's why I made sure to state that we moved the cart away.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we have some kind of distance.
5th edition's a full heal for a long rest, isn't it?
Yep.
It is. Yep.
So you don't have to roll at all. You just regain everything.
Yep.
Full long rest is everything recovered.
So, are we giving up on this wall, or should we try digging into it?
From what I can tell, it looks very thick, but what do I know? I'm a surface dweller.
Waiting the next day.
I think this is still just during the long rest.
Okay.
While we're long resting, because you don't have to do. I think it's only like 6 hours of sleep. You can do some light downtime activity.
Yeah, you can do that.
I would go talk to the Tomas guy.
Mhm.
Ask him stuff like where his village was in Corsiconia.
Yeah.
And stuff like how long does he estimate that the Drow have had their people imprisoned?
They're very open about it. You don't know the name of the exact village because there's a million small farming villages, but you're able to talk about regions, and it's of a province more to the south of where you entered the Underdark. So that's a little ways away. As for how long, they're even less equipped to understand the passage of time in the Underdark than you are.
Mm-hmm.
They genuinely have no idea.
Gotcha.
Could be months, could be years. You don't know.
Yeah, and I'm doing my thing that I don't bring up too often, but my mastermind ability that I just have the general inflection of whatever like other person they're speaking to me, which isn't hard for me because my character was from Corsiconia.
Yeah, they have like I'm terrible at doing it, which is why I'm not doing it. But they have kind of like a Spaniard style accent.
Yeah, and when Fergus speaks common, he does too.
Yeah,
but he throws out the same kind of slang they're used to and everything. So trying to pretty much put them at ease that they actually have met someone friendly.
Yeah, definitely. You hoping to calm them. Puts them more at ease.
And yeah, just generally question them about whatever they what kind of like the size of whatever fortress they might have escaped from, whether it was a large one or
it
middle
was
one.
It was a caravan.
Gotcha.
Is what they managed to escape from. They said there was some kind of battle of the Drow fighting someone, and that's when he took the advantage to make them escape. He said that they all prayed it was Corsiconia soldiers coming down to save them, but they couldn't take that chance, so that's why they fled deeper into the caves.
That's fair. You never know what down here is going to try to kill you, so better to take your chances and stay safe. Trying to think of anything else I would ask them, but I think that's more or less it. I would inform them that provided we get around and go the other path, I did indeed see light from the tunnel before it collapsed, so there definitely is a way to the surface.
That definitely raises some spirits.
Yeah, it's just a matter of working our way through or around to it, and again with numbers and having more people to kind of watch the backs and flanks and everything, we should be safer than we were with them without us and us without them, kind of thing. Essentially just trying to reassure them and do that thing where it kind of makes them feel more useful than they feel.
Yeah. Normally there'd be like a roll or something for this, but they're kind of desperate for reassurance. So no matter what, you would be giving them some. So.
Yeah. And mostly it's just friendly conversation and talk to kind of make sure that, they're not, I would like to roll general insight on the group to make sure they all seem on the up and up, though.
Of course.
Because what you do. Mm-hmm. Oh, that won't be with the +2, so it's just 15.
Still, that's enough. They are everything that they say they are.
Yeah. And just kind of sizing up, it definitely seems like Tomas is the only one that has any kind of fighting skills.
Yeah, you seems like he's the only one that has any kind of skills, though it might not be great. If you get to talking with him, he was a town guard.
Mm-hmm.
He's like one of the two that they had. The other one died, and he's the last one. So that just because he knows how to hold the sword doesn't mean he's necessarily, the best.
But still, having the armor will help him. And the longsword, does it look like it's a drow make one?
Yeah, it looks like he grabbed a drow longsword from somewhere. Though honestly, on a 15, sizing him up with how weak he is and everything like that, you're pretty certain Lord Gurney could probably beat him.
Yeah. Every little bit of defense helps, though.
Mm-hmm.
And also probably being, malnourished and everything probably hasn't helped his skills at all.
Yep. So, you all complete a long rest. Thrum, you're getting a little extra sleep because you're very, very tired. Any dreams that you have, you don't remember, but at the end of your long rest, your eyes just kind of shoot open, and without a doubt, that there's going to be another quake in 40 seconds.
He's gonna jump up and at the top of his voice yell, "Grab your shit and let's go! There's gonna be another rockfall!"
When you jump up, your face immediately hits a mushroom that's on the end of an arrow that Ivy's holding. She's like, "I wasn't doing anything."
Damn it, lass! Go! Go now!
What at that?
I'm gonna insight check him.
Okay.
He's not. He's rushing forward straight towards Fergis, and he is going to grab Fergis the best he can and keep rushing forward.
Fergus, your uncle's gone completely batshit insane.
Better go with him anyway. He might kill us if we don't.
Does he remember the visions he had?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I imagine during the night we turn the cart around to face the other direction. So I'm just gonna get into the seat and start getting it moving and start calling out to the humans in common about how we need to move.
Imagine by now it's started.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Now
I get in, I just start. We need to move, and I imagine the quaking is enough to get them moving.
Mm-hmm.
If it has started.
It has started.
Okay. It's going to be really funny if you made him just kind of insane.
That comes later.
Oh, good.
For just the way I was planning on talking about it in the morning anyway, I was going to say that the cart would move ahead of the humans because there's giant scorpions in the front. We don't really want to have them bump into the butts of any humans. Yeah,
generally, when you guys were sleeping, they tried to be as far away as physically possible from those.
Yep. But yeah, I would say we start pushing and start going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You hear a few more falling stones behind you, but you're uncertain of how deep that cave-in is, but there was definitely another one.
Did I mention how much I hate the underground?
A few times.
It's beautiful if you can find the right place. I just think we're in the wrong one.
Well, what we did see up there and was pretty volcanic. It would explain the earthquakes, wouldn't it?
I had I'm waiting until the humans kind of separate out as we slow down as we're moving forward, and our normal group gets around the wagon as we're moving forward. I want to hear later why the hell we just got 13 humans with us. But there's something I have to tell you all about a vision I had. I don't know exactly what happened. I heard the rocks falling. But down there is a cave. There's a cave with the mighty wells, bubbling lava all around it. Gombo, did I ever see it accidentally close up, or was it still open as far as I know?
It was still open. You got the impression of pain, of damage, and of, like, wrongness.
So I got the impressions of pain, damage, and wrongness. I don't know if it was the right place for dwarves to be building. I don't know if it means that's the wrong place for us to go. That's just what I felt.
Did maybe something open up after the dwarves came? I mean, it's been 300 years.
There was I saw like a split in the roof,
Yeah.
right?
It was a split in the ground.
I saw the, oh, it was a split in the ground? I thought it was a split in the roof. Okay.
Yeah.
Split in the roof. Lots of pain. Lots of damage. Lots of bad. Maybe the dwarves dug too far.
If it was our ancestors.
But I don't know what happened after that. All I remember was going black and the rock sounds of rocks all around us. What happened?
For now, we've got a
Did
long
the humans save us?
No, they came along afterwards. But for now, looking at the map, looks like we've got a long road. And how long did they say they had supplies for?
17
18
days.
days.
Yeah,
Well,
17 now.
so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 days to get back to where we started from here.
They're carrying a lot of food on them then. If you want to have them
And
dump it in
depending
the
on
cart,
how long-
they don't have to carry it. That's a good weight they're each carrying there.
It really just depends on how trusting they are of us. I mean, also, that really just amounts to like 17 days worth of rations on each of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
And
like
it looks like
I had it at 18, so 36 pounds on each of them.
this other path is at least 3 times as long as we came through, if this is even remotely accurate.
So we might need to subsist on the magical means, and when they start running low, maybe give them some of our rations.
With that many of them, we've got enough to last them 3 more days.
Yeah, we'll broach that
After
subject when it
which
comes to
they'll
it.
either have to choke on their pride or eat the father's bread.
I can't tell if that was an innuendo or not, but I'm going to keep moving.
Taskill, I've seen what you produce and counting all this food that we've gotten. When you do, it looks like it's about 30 rations worth, and I don't know that I can feed 13 of them and
I tried.
6 to
They're
us.
Corsiconians. They distrust magic.
Ah, hell, I had a bow-legged wife from Corsiconia. She wouldn't do anything with magic. Made it very boring.
You know, one of these days we're going to have to sit down and have an intervention for you, Thrum. But I don't think today's that day.
I'm not afraid of magic. Let's keep on trotting.
All right.
I swear to God, if he finds another wife on this adventure, I quit.
I think he already has.
No, he found a waifu. That's different.
Ah, right. Yeah. Sons of Dammerhall, our campaign with the most shipping.
Well, you know, when the game starts with talks of heirs and stuff.
Mm.
But I mean, it's 8 o'clock. This is probably a good point to end it off.
It's a good breaking point. I just made sure to move you forward and update the day.